Welcome to the BS Crew podcast. This is our first episode. Should I say post-revival?
Yeah.
Yeah, post-revival.
I mean, what was there even a revival to begin with? I mean, we filmed it, but
We attempted.
yeah, there was we gave it the old college try.
yeah.
So anyway, I am Jared. I will be one of your hosts, I should say. Today I am joined by my good friend Tyler here.
Hi,
Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Tyler.
All right, that's nice. That's nice. Man of the people.
What,
And
what kind of introduction do I need?
I don't know. You can just say, "Hey, I'm Tyler." You know. And then we also have Charlie joining us as well.
Hello.
Animator extraordinaire.
Oh boy. Yeah, I should clarify, I'm a guest. I don't know if I'll be regular on this.
A regular guest.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
could be regular
regular
guest.
guest,
regular
Yeah,
guest,
yeah.
yeah.
We're cool with that.
I'm essentially a host without the responsibility of having to be here every week.
Damn,
So,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good kit.
I arranged a good contract.
You made it work.
There's a contract.
Yeah, you didn't sign it.
I didn't even make a contract.
Dude,
Oh.
I get benefits from this.
You
I
got Nigerian princed.
I got royalties.
I forgot to bring my invisible ink pen.
Yeah, no, I went to BS Corp and they set me up with a good package for this.
Yeah.
You guys should talk to your managers, your representatives, see if you can get
Well, I
this
mean,
figured
we
out.
are in this like multi-million-dollar studio, like deep underground where they
Yeah.
can't find us. Yeah, there's no censorship here.
No,
you know,
no.
Yeah, no, yeah.
we're protected from the lizard satellites.
Anyway, so this is our first episode back after what, 3 years,
Yeah,
give
I
or
think
take?
it was 2019 because I believe we are the episode we had re-recorded. It was like predictions for 2020 of gaming.
Yes.
And none of our predictions predicted the one thing about 2020 that everyone knows.
The global panorama.
Oh, I was gonna say Animal Crossing success, but you know,
Oh, right. Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I actually, when me and Tyler first started about talking about like bringing this podcast back, one of the things that I was doing was just going back and listening to the old episodes. Most of them were very unfunny. Right?
Yeah, probably.
As I look back in my life, me from like 3 years ago deserves to be slapped, and it just kind of keeps going back. Where like 19-year-old Jared would have slapped the shit out of 16-year-old Jared, and it just keeps going back. You know,
Generational trauma.
which I was going to say character growth, but that works too.
Yeah.
But I was listening to that podcast that we recorded that never actually got released about the 2020 gaming one, and we called it 2020 the year that saved gaming. And man, did we miss the mark on
Man,
that.
yeah, wow.
What came out in 2020? I mean, I remember Animal Crossing
Cyberpunk.
and Doom came out the same day.
There was that
Cyberpunk.
Oh,
Yeah.
just barely, because I
I-
believe that was December.
I remember Paper Mario solely because they just announced it on Twitter of all things.
Oh, and then it just came out. I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah,
That
it
was
was-
like the end of summer.
Yeah, it was like surprise, Paper
Yeah.
Mario, not even a direct or anything. 2020, did we get anything? I'm trying to think. I can't remember any big games. I think a lot of them got delayed.
I think that year was when they did the first teaser for Breath of the Wild,
Yeah.
of which we've seen nothing else.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Zelda's-
Actually, it was 2019. It was E3 2019. They announced it, and they had that trailer with them in the catacombs.
Oh,
yeah. And then they had the trailer in 2020 with him falling from the sky.
So we've probably talked about this in that lost
we
episode.
did.
Probably.
We did,
Wow.
yes. And everybody was like, yeah, dude, can't wait for Breath of the Wild 2. And now I'm not even convinced it's going to release in the decade. Okay.
Yeah. You know, maybe someday we'll upload that lost episode, and you can see how
It'll be on the
badly we
Patreon.
predicted- Yeah, the Patreon that we don't have yet.
Yeah, we're doing this for money, by the way.
Yeah,
We're just not
so-
guys who are bored and think they're important.
Is this going to be a Patreon, or are we like more of a Ko-Fi kind of group?
I think a Ko-Fi.
Maybe we
Ko-Fi.
could be on Floatplane.
Yeah, so that way we don't
Float.
we don't have to worry about rewards.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean,
I kid.
that's actually an important note. I think we're just doing this for fun. You
Oh
know?
yeah, no, definitely.
I mean, like, obviously, like, the three of us have been friends for a very long time. You know, I was thinking about it the other day, Charlie. So we've known each other since the first grade.
Yeah. So
Our friendship can legally vote.
yeah.
How scary is that?
When you say it like that, I can feel some gray hairs spouting.
Yeah, it's tough. But yeah, so basically, we're just guys hanging out. We might have some like other people local to Western Mass come on.
Yeah.
We've told again, like I worked in radio and like production
Yeah.
during college, so you know I might have some people on here from that.
Yeah. Do the names Bax and O'Brien ring any bells? We can. We got a connection
Yeah,
here.
I'll-
Discredited and disavowed.
Yeah, I think what is it Bax or O'Brien who's now in Florida?
That would be O'Brien.
I used to think they were one person. As a kid, I thought it was Baxton O'Brien, one name.
Me too.
You know, I don't
100%.
work there anymore, so I can say this. I thought the exact same thing until the day I was hired there.
That
They
is,
gave me the tour because I applied to work at 99.3, right? Because
Lazar.
yeah, Lazar, and you know, it's a hard rock station. I like classic rock, but like. I was raised on like 3 Days Grace and Avenged Sevenfold. The heavier stuff that's now
That's
like
definitely what's on Laser.
super edgy. Yeah. Well, honestly, nowadays it is. They've bounced back and forth, you know?
Yeah.
But so when I first started there, I applied to work at Laser, and then they're like, oh, by the way, you know, like we do Rock 102 as well. I was like, awesome. That sounds great. And then when you walk downstairs in the studio, you see the sign that says Bax and O'Brien. I had no idea. I learned as I was in the building going to meet them in like 10 seconds.
I bet you played it off so well.
I actually don't
I
think they
can't
ever
wait to
knew.
meet them.
yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If you listen to it and you use more than 2 brain cells for like 5 minutes, you could realize that it's more than 2 people.
Yeah, but
You could
does
realize
that
it's
say
not
about
just one
us?
person.
that's asking a lot for the three of us.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, we're just a bunch of friends. We're not doing this for money. We're just doing this because I don't know. I like to think we're mildly entertaining to listen to.
You know, third time's a charm. We are a bunch of men who think that they are important and will talk to anyone on the internet.
No,
Yeah,
that's just
basically.
podcasts in general.
Yeah, no.
There's something different about us, right?
I kid.
We're so different, man.
I think we're pretty humble folks.
Yeah, we're quirky white boys who like gaming. I know we're breaking
Yeah.
new ground.
We're
here.
not humble enough that we aren't doing a podcast. We're like that nice middle ground.
I think the better way to describe it is like we're Discord people, but not in that like kitten kind of way, but like in that I have friends on Discord that
Yeah.
I know in real life that I chat with.
Not like the I'm a Discord mod
Yeah,
kind of way.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking the best way to describe our Discord is like so Discord in of itself is a big group chat, right?
Yeah.
But ours is like very active. Like me, like I can usually game like once or twice a week, you know, depending on like
Yeah.
how busy work is and stuff.
Someone will be there.
But
Yeah.
someone is always online.
Yeah.
At least texting, but like gaming, like anytime past like 4 p.m., somebody's online.
Yeah, because it was originally a Skype replacement for us. That's and so we would use it to talk while we game, and then when we were in college, it was a good way to keep up communication. And
Yeah.
here we are now. 2 years post college.
I'm trying to think of other good ways to describe us, like, disavow the internet people thing. Like I'm a Reddit user, I'm not a Redditor. I
Yeah.
feel like that's a good way to describe us.
You're right. We really do like to toe that middle ground, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would call myself a diet gamer. I did not play video games for a couple years, and I've recently started playing them again because, now I'm out of school. I don't really have much to do besides work.
Exactly. Yeah. I think about it now. I think I get more hours in on Steam in a month than I did like the 4 years I was in college.
Yeah.
Dude, see, so the funny thing is for me, like in high school, there was a multitude of like social things that were going on for me at that time. But I just didn't game in high school. I think I would play Duck Game once in a blue moon with you guys,
I
which is
remember
great. Still one of my favorite games
my
of all time.
my shitty dorm Wi-Fi. That was great.
How did we miss that we were theater kids? That would have been a good description.
Here's the thing. I don't think we were theater. We towed the middle ground
We
here.
were-
Okay,
we
we
were-
were theater kids, but not.
We were the stage crew, so we were like the the antithesis of. Am I using that word right? The
Yeah, I think so.
antithesis
I think so.
of like the drama kids. Like you had like the kids who were in costume and character and all the drama.
I was just there
soiling
to
the
like drill the screws and to nail the
Yeah.
nails and
Yeah, no.
duct tape everything else.
While they were all like colorful costumes, we were solid
Right,
black.
right.
Using power tools that they were very, very trusting of a bunch of 15, 16-year-olds to use, and we bought a couch for the job.
Oh, yeah,
Remember?
that's
Depending
a
on who
whole
you ask,
thing.
we stole it.
We stole it. I
stole
just
it.
remember going to pick it up in your truck.
I think the statute of limitations is passed on that.
Yeah, we're probably good.
But also, you guys actually did fork over money for it.
Yes.
Somebody did. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think Amanda was actually
someone
involved with that.
else stole the couch. We just bought it from them, so we were like not. related.
yeah.
Maybe
Yes.
maybe this is a whole conspiracy, right? Because it's like the truck it burned to the ground because I was trying to destroy the evidence of the getaway vehicle.
Yeah. I mean, it took you a couple of years, but
yeah.
just you remembered.
Yeah. I knew. It's one of those things you couldn't hide forever.
Yeah. All right, let's look at the itinerary.
Yeah.
here.
So I guess, but before we jump into this, to the actual topic that we would like to discuss, piggybacking off of our nerddom, I guess like a good way to describe us, like, is I'll put this as in a concise way as possible, where we're nerds who like almost in like a jack of all trades sense. We're like, I feel like a lot of us know a lot or a little about a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like I could definitely tell you a pretty healthy serving of the Metal Gear lore, right? I could also do that for a lot of other things, including, you know, comic books, TV shows that I'm into.
Even things that I've never like read, just because this group is so diverse.
Yeah, it's like cultural osmosis.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. So I think a lot of us kind of fall into that. Like Charlie, I'm sure you probably know a handful of let's take Metal Gear for example. Like you've probably heard us talk about that.
Yeah, I've absorbed it through you guys. I've never played Metal Gear myself, but I know the majority of the lore just from knowing you guys for
which is
a
saying
long
something.
time.
Yeah, because it's bad shit.
Yeah, no, we're zillennials as they call it. We're like that nice middle ground between millennial and zoomer.
That should have been our first conversation, because I had an argument with my coworkers this past week, like discussing that, right? Because it's like they're like, "Oh, well, you're Gen Z," and it's like,
I mean,
yeah,
you jump in on that.
We're
yeah.
technically Gen Z, but not culturally. Like when I see the because Gen Z is still going on, I think.
yeah, no,
Or it's either recently ended.
It just ended. I think it was like 2016 or 2015.
Yes, and now it's Gen Alpha, which is an infinitely better name. I don't know why they get to be the alphas and we're Z or
Well, it's
Z.
like my little cousins who are like 6 and 10 or 5 and 10, something like that. Like they play Fortnite. They grew up on tablets. Like I grew up with a VHS player. Like
Yeah.
I really can't relate to them.
Yeah, our generation, like specifically, like the people a couple years older and younger than us, maybe we're the last. But I remember having dial-up internet, a VHS player.
Yeah.
I remember going outside.
Imagine.
Not having a phone. Like I didn't have a phone until high school.
Same.
Like I remember having to call people on a home phone. Do people
And you had to remember their phone number, and you had to remember
exactly.
how to get to their house.
I used to know both of your phone numbers, like your home phone numbers, and then
I don't even know my own phone number.
Yeah. Well, no, I couldn't tell you now, obviously, but
Yeah.
like, now that I'm looking back on it, do you remember having to make like about a minute of small talk with like your friend's parents when you'd call over?
Yeah.
But like I had to do
yeah.
it for both of you guys. Where I'd be like, you know, hi, Mr. Charlie's dad. And they'd be like, oh, Jared, how's school going? You know?
Yeah. Technology has certainly been a crutch for me in terms, especially phone numbers. Like, I could not tell you my girlfriend's number, but she knows mine, and it keeps me up at night.
One word.
I feel bad. I have failed this relationship.
Birthdays.
Birthdays.
How the fuck am I
Thank
supposed to remember people's
God.
birthdays?
I'm good with most birthdays. I mean, like yours is easy. It's 420.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yours
true.
is easy. It's 42.
Yours, honestly, the main reason I remember yours as much as I do is because you had it in all of your usernames growing up.
Yeah, I was one of those kids. I'm one of those guys. Whenever I make a count, it's still 217.
Dude, it's still my. I'm still using my Club Penguin name for everything.
Coolio Dude 223.
It's my handle.
That's a solid name though.
Except for Pokemon Go, someone else took that.
That was Gabby, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
it's
my
my
sister
sister.
took it.
Yeah, that was very confusing. I remember texting Tyler. I was like, "Oh, you're playing Pokemon Go again?" Because I'd just gotten back into it. And he's like, "What?" And I sent him a picture of like the trainer, and he was like, "No, that's not me. That's my sister." And I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think you're the kind of guy who makes his avatar a girl, even though you're a dude."
Oh, but we know people who do that.
We know people who do. No shame.
You know, but I bet you get
whatever
more
makes you
gifts doing
comfortable.
that.
What's up?
Definitely.
You get more gifts.
Probably.
Yeah, it's a tactic, but
Yeah.
no shame to people who they want their avatar to not look like them.
Solid strategery.
Yeah.
So you guys want to talk about games?
Yeah. I think we should probably get around to what we actually were here to talk about.
Yeah. So we kind of figured for this like inaugural episode, we wanted to do something that was kind of timely and relevant, as well as something that was easy enough that the three of us could just kind of BS about for.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Something that will really date this podcast, especially if we don't get it out soon.
Yeah, dude. come back. Listen to this 6 months from now, and then just like make fun of us in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were listening in 2026, first of all, pretty great that we actually uploaded at this time. And second, I'm surprised you guys still have internet. I figured the world would have collapsed by then.
Yeah. So anyway, we're talking about games in the following year of for the rest of the year of 2022, and then going into 2023.
And notably, it's the beginning of September now.
This is a topic of controversy, mostly because of the second game and their representation in there. The Last of Us remake is coming out. Why are they making a remake?
Is that coming out this month?
It's coming out in September. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so my main question.
Wait,
right?
hold on. Is it coming to Steam? Like, is that one of the ones that PlayStation is releasing?
No,
for the masses?
it's still only staying on PS5.
But other Naughty Dog games have come over, right?
I believe they're working on bringing Uncharted over.
Oh yeah, I think so,
Yeah.
but I don't think they have a release date for that yet.
Yeah. But no, so The Last of Us remake is coming out, which like it's cool, great. You know, I love new games, but also The Last of Us remake,
New old games.
yeah. But like The Last of Us remaster, with like just like a straight up like graphical upgrade, did not come out that long ago, and honestly, it still looks pretty fantastic. To the point where looking at the remake footage versus the remaster, it's kind of hard to tell what's better.
What the?
The remaster was just a release on the new PlayStation, right?
Yeah, so the remaster came out for the PS4, but I believe like you can play the digital version on the PS5 though. It's not like any different than the PS4 version, but other than just like the better hardware, so you don't need to worry about lag or anything.
Now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to clarify for the audience here. When I said that was a diet gamer, I meant that in terms of this episode, I know probably one of the games we're going to talk about today. So
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. If it's not like a kitschy like indie game on Steam or on the Switch,
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
So-
I'm one of those gamers that gamers would say is not a gamer because I play like Stardew Valley, Pokemon, Animal Crossing, the non-gamer games.
I still consider those gaming.
No,
though, you know?
I do. I think playing any game would quote unquote make you a gamer, even though I don't like that term anymore.
Yeah,
But
it has some negative connotations. Again, we're Reddit users, not Redditors.
yeah,
We're not
so-
gamers. We just are people that play games.
So expanding upon my lack of game aptitude, what the hell is the difference between the remake and the remaster? Isn't that like the same thing?
So a remaster is a straight up graphical upgrade.
Yeah,
A remake is like mechanically from the ground up.
So basically, this is just them milking The Last of Us for a little more money.
100%. Yes, because I'm assuming what happened. This is my big brain.
Well,
thing.
here's my question: Is
Yeah.
there large mechanical differences between the first game and the second game?
The Last of Us Part 2 is more impressive mechanically. So like there's puzzles with like ropes and stuff like that.
But
that,
like
respond
gameplay
mechanically.
wise, there's no like
It's
there's no
not-
change in movement or aiming. or
Not
anything
really.
Like that.
Like obviously there's the general updates that you'll get with a sequel, but
So-
it's not like groundbreaking
So
differences.
you're not saying that this is a situation where they're like taking the remaster to the same level as the second game.
I think they are. So like it's gonna be better than the remaster,
Right.
but like very like by a very small margin, I'd have to imagine.
Okay.
Like what I've seen is, you know, I don't see the purpose for it. Anyway, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, this next one, Charlie, you could probably speak on. Temtem is
Oh.
officially coming out.
Officially, it's been out for like months. I thought.
Yeah.
Is
you
one
know,
of those?
Yeah, I think it's an early access.
Yeah, and it's just so they can finish the game but still make money. Yeah, Temtem. In terms of like I feel like monster catching RPGs have made a bit of a resurgence in the past couple of years. You got stuff like Koromon and Monster Sanctuary, which I actually designed a monster for. Shameless plug.
I'll toss it up on screen.
Yeah, it's that one. It's pretty good in the meta, so I've heard. I actually haven't had time to play.
Wow, it's so cool looking. Like you really did a good job designing that.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't do the pixel art, but I did the groundwork. I
Okay.
think it turned out pretty good.
Well, you did the name and everything too. For
Yeah,
it, right?
I did everything. I mean, they obviously changed the moveset for like balance purposes, but I did like the name, design, moveset, all that. And I shouldn't have been able to design the monster, but someone who was like a Patreon supporter or Kickstarter supporter who was able, like, he is the tier that you could enter the contests. He was like, yeah, I'm not an artist, and I've seen your stuff in the Discord, and you want to submit this monster that you drew. And then now it's in a game. I can officially say that I am a video game character
Are you
designer.
gonna put that on
Hell
your
yeah.
IMDb?
Can you put video games on IMDb?
I think
thought
you
so.
can. Yeah, any like role or like it's like even like producers and stuff are on IMDb.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, whenever I get egotistical enough to make an IMDb for myself, I will put it on there.
Well, at the very least, you can put it on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah. It's on like my resume under like the achievements and accolades and all that. I'm like, yeah, I won a contest to make a character design. Anyways, back to
So yeah, actually, so what I'm hearing is Temtem is cool, but Monster Sanctuary is so much
okay,
better.
so let me before going back to Temtem, Monster Sanctuary is cool because it is not only it's a monster catching game, but it's a Metroidvania. So
Oh.
it's like a 2D platformer. You're exploring this big map. You're using abilities that you get through the monsters to open up different paths.
Is this on Steam?
Yeah, it's on Steam. It's not too expensive, and they do sales often. The team is really nice. They're good people. Go check it out if you like Pokemon, Metroid, or Castlevania, and you would like to see all three combined. But going back to Temtem, out of all these games is certainly the most faithful to I guess is faithful a good word? It's the most like Pokemon, and I've seen some people criticize that, but I think
I've seen this on online before.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
it's being published by Humble.
yeah. Monster Sanctuary has gotten pretty big recently since they got picked up by that. But yeah, Temtem, it's definitely very similar to Pokemon. Maybe not in the design aspect. I do think a lot of the designs are very weak. They suffer from a lot of like it just gets bigger. Like there's a lot of monsters that are just the base form but larger and angrier, and maybe they stand up now.
Maybe it has a horn on its forehead or something.
Yeah, just it's more detailed, which I think. I know Pokemon designs are very subjective and they're not all perfect, but I think lately Pokemon has been knocking it out with making evolutionary lines that all feel like they have a purpose
For
in the
sure.
line. Maybe the starters always suffer from that. Like the middle one is always like that middle ground between the first and the last. Especially Jenny, I think those ones are like some of the weakest
For sure.
middle stages. But Pokemon always knocks it out. Temtem. There are some hits, there are some misses, maybe a lot of misses.
I don't know. As someone who doesn't really like play Pokemon, I'm looking at like the pictures and the videos on Steam for this game, and it definitely looks like a game from this year, unlike the Pokemon games that are
Yeah,
probably going to release next year.
That's one thing. Temtem has great graphics. I think it benefits from being a PC game, but though I think it's coming to consoles.
I feel like it's coming to Switch because I heard about this for the first time in like one of those like mini directs, so like the ones for like indie games.
Which I'm surprised that Nintendo would do that because, Pokemon is it's definitely the biggest monster RPG game, even though it wasn't the first. It's definitely the biggest, and I'm surprised Nintendo would allow like an actively advertise competition.
Well, it's just like the Pikmin ripoff, the
Oh.
one with the bugs, Bugtail, Bug, or Beetletail, something like
Oh,
that.
are you talking about the bug RPG game that's like Paper Mario?
Yes, Paper Mario. That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
I will say that game. I forget the name of it offhand, which is kind of bad. Put it up on the screen, editor.
yeah, we can just link to the Arlo video about it.
Yeah. Despite being, it's very similar to Paper Mario graphically, but it's a really great game. It's really really deep.
It's like mechanically better.
Yeah, it's pretty much what Paper Mario fans have wanted from Paper Mario since the GameCube era. So if you're one of those Paper Mario fans, it's like the last real one is the second one.
The 1,000-year door was
Yeah.
the last game. Yeah.
Go play.
But it's actually on the
This
Switch
game.
is my point. Like
Yes.
they don't seem to really care. Either that or they're like so tone deaf that they don't realize that that's what the games are like
I mean-
directly competing with.
I think Pizza Tower is also coming out on the Switch, and that's just Wario Land. Pizza Tower, great game, very fun. The animation is phenomenal. We were talking about Temtem, I think. I should
yeah,
probably
sorry.
go back to that. No, it's okay. I ramble. Temtem, it's okay. It's got good combat. It's 2v2s, which is usually what competitive Pokemon is, I think. So it's going for more competitive vibe. It's just Pokemon with better graphics, but designs. Pokemon has no excuse to look as bad as it does.
Agreed. But we can talk on that in the Gen 9 section of the video.
Which
that
will
we're gonna
probably
get
be
to
the
later.
majority.
Yeah, this will be a big thing.
Did either of you get to play the Splat test?
I have not.
I don't really care for Splatoon.
I will be honest. I really like Splatoon from a conceptual and design standpoint. I'm a sucker for anything nautical and aquatic. So like the character designs of sea creatures that are either quirky or like really funky. I like that. But
What I'm hearing
dog
is
shit.
that you're a fisher. You're not a person who fishes. You're actually a fisher.
Yeah. But I'm dog shit at Splatoon.
I am too. The Zoomers, they use the motion controls, which I'm too stupid for. So I use the sticks and I just get dumped on.
Yeah, I tried when I played it on the Wii U. I played it more on the Wii U, but I was bad. I bought Splatoon 2 for Switch, and I could not get through the tutorial, so I stopped playing.
It's because of the tutorial. It only wants you to use the motion controls.
Yeah, and my hands are just so... I'm got really big hands, so it's already hard to hold the Switch in dock.
If you're not using the Pro
handheld.
controller, it's pretty much impossible.
Yeah. But Splatoon 3, I've seen bits and pieces. I saw someone imply that it's free to play.
I think the multiplayer might be I think they're gonna open up all the Splatfest or something like that.
So it's not like through Nintendo Online, but you still have to pay $60 for the game.
No, I think that like you need a Nintendo Online, but I think that when the Splatfest come, that you could just download like kind of like the test thing. It would just be for the
Yeah.
Splatfest, and when it ended, you get kicked. So it's like a way of like tricking people into playing because like
Yeah.
that's when the game's at its best, and the rest of the time is.
Yeah, I heard people talking about that and about how Nintendo should do what some of the very successful free to play games do with
Yeah.
that. But
I don't
sounds
think
to me
that
like
they could
they're not
ever
going to.
support the microtransactions that you need in order to like keep a free to play game like that going.
Because Splatoon, like a big part of it is customization, but I don't think the cosmetics are like that big of a
No.
deal that people are gonna
No.
drop. Like Multiverse has got the $20 skins. Oh, excuse me.
Which is an absolute ripoff.
Yeah,
for the
I know.
record.
I know
I
the
think the
devs.
game already came out. I don't think we have to talk about that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. We should keep going. But let's see. Well,
else
I'll
is
just kind of
coming in
rapid fire
September?
through here. Do either of you guys care about Slime Rancher?
Oh, I love Slime Rancher.
Slime Rancher 2.
I did not beat it, but it's not really one of those games that I think is like you necessarily have to beat.
I'm excited to see like what the sequel brings. The
Yeah.
first one was pretty innovative, so if they make it better, they add something to it, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I hope it like builds upon it instead of just being like, oh, here's Slime Rancher, but in a different
some
setting.
slimes.
From what I've seen of it, it does look pretty good though.
Yeah,
But
and
I'm
it's like a major graphical update and everything
yeah,
else.
yeah, no, I'm a sucker for Slime Rancher, anyways. So
Yeah,
excited for
it's
this
up
one.
there with like the Stardew Valley, Minecraft. The 6
It's
games
the
that all
cozy
non-gamers
games.
play. Yeah, the cozy games. There you
Yeah,
go.
dude, I'm a cozy gamer. I like getting comfy. I like getting snuggly, and I like games that are not necessarily challenge. I will say, Cuphead's my favorite game of all time. So it's like a stark difference from every
That
other game
shit's
I like to play.
impossible.
Yeah, my advice for Cuphead is to get good.
That's based.
Yeah, that didn't stop Elden Ring from
That's-
getting uninstalled.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oof.
yeah. No, I think those games that are like hard to play, like if it's made with that design, right? You take something like Hotline Miami, right? Like when it's designed like that and they just nail that, it's just difficulty can be done in such a good way.
Yeah, no, Cuphead is like a perfect example of that because it's the right amount of difficult where you're probably gonna have a challenge, but it's still accessible. I've seen children beat this game.
Is it like Hotline Miami in that like there's not a lot of like things at risk, right? Like part of the reason that it's okay that Hotline Miami is so difficult is because like at most you're losing like 30 seconds of gameplay. Like,
Yeah.
you're just gonna keep doing
Yeah.
it over and over
Oh,
again. Like
yeah.
do you have to restart a whole level when
No,
you? Okay.
so the run and gun levels, there's not a lot. So Cuphead it's mostly boss fights.
Yeah.
But they did a few run and gun levels because it was originally all going to be boss fights, but people were like, well, a staple of run and gun games is the run and gun
Right.
sections before the bosses. So they put a few in there. Those are frustrating because if you die, you do have to do the whole thing, and they're very hard.
Yeah.
I beat the game, but I didn't beat those levels until a long time after, which when I went back to 100% it. But Cuphead, when you die in a boss fight, you do have to restart the boss fight. But like the death screen is so quick, and the loading times are so pretty. They're pretty fast loading
Yeah.
times. You're just getting right back
So
into it.
it's similar then.
Yeah, and you don't lose anything. There's no penalty for dying besides starting over. So, it's not super frustrating when you die.
Yeah. Let's talk about the sequel that everyone's just incredibly excited for coming out in October. Modern Warfare 2 number 2.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No. What he said. Okay. First, I know that you're gonna have some stuff to say on MW2. So, but first, let me just speed run through these other ones here.
Yeah.
Because everything else in October, I think, is ranging from bad to cool. Overwatch 2, bad. Who cares? Dead game. It only has two new characters after waiting like 5 years.
Yeah,
The thing
stupid.
that kills me is it's like I thought that the whole point of there being a sequel is that there was going to be a PvE part, and the PvE part's not even going to be available on launch.
Yeah,
in October.
yeah, but that's also okay. Yeah, modern AAA game. That's all I'm gonna
Well,
say.
yeah, Blizzard's kind of been in a fucking shitty situation. Not, I mean, they did it to themselves, but
yeah.
they've been fucking slipping on their own shit for a good couple
years now.
Yeah. Like I remember, like Overwatch, the original was really fun. We had a lot of good times playing together because it was really fun to stack up a full party with your friends. And then I remember that first anniversary event just killed it for most of us because it in order to get any of the content you had to grind or pay. And I remember I got to a point because I was gifted Overwatch by I think my brother, and so I was like, oh, I'll spend like $60 worth of money to get the cosmetics, and then I'm even. And then at the end of that event, I was like, I've spent more money than I would like to have, especially as a broke college student living in New York City. So that killed it for me.
And I bet you didn't even get the cosmetics you wanted.
I got a few, but
Okay.
there's some that I wanted that I did not get, and that's the nature of loot boxes. But yeah, Overwatch 2 doesn't look to be any better.
Yeah, it just seems super bare bones. Like honestly, if it was like a $20 DLC, I could see it.
Yeah.
All right. For the rest of October, there's two other big releases: Persona 4 Persona 5 Royale finally coming to the Switch after years of asking. I personally, not a big Persona guy, but
Yeah,
I'm
no.
happy for the people who are Persona fans.
That's fair.
Because
Yeah,
it seems to just make sense. Like that
Yeah.
pairing, having that game on a handheld system or the hybrid handheld system, just seems perfect. All right. Next up, also Bayonetta 3, also going to be a Switch exclusive.
Is that
if-
actually coming
That's
out?
actually coming out.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Unless it got delayed again.
I know
I'm-
they had that one trailer that everyone thought was for a different game, and Bayonetta came out of the fursuit, and they're like, "Whoa, Bayonetta!"
Yeah.
But it might actually. I saw something where that might not actually have been Bayonetta in that trailer.
No, it was. People were thinking it was, I believe, her sister. Not her sister, but one of the other characters from the game at
Yeah,
first.
like grown up or something.
But yeah, it is her though.
I've never played any of them, so I don't really. I don't.
Yeah, same.
So me and Tyler started this next discussion a little bit last night. I don't have much to add to it, to be completely honest with you. But the new Modern Warfare 2.
The last one that came out, the last Modern Warfare title that came out, Modern Warfare 2019, was people have like just had nothing but praise for it, and they really enjoyed it. And Cold War, which is the one that came out in the midst of COVID, I actually enjoyed. That was like my first COD title since Black Ops 2 on the Xbox 360. So if the new title is as good as the one from 2019, then I'm sure it'll be a good game.
Okay. Do you
don't
think
know.
they're going to do no Russian?
Because
Because how many story beats did the 2019
the
one take?
2019 one was a completely different story. So
Oh.
it was the same characters because they wanted to nostalgia bait you, but it was completely different, closer to like what actual Modern Warfare looks like today. So like I was like
Okay.
about like guerrilla fighters and stuff like that, and using technology versus like the original Modern Warfare series was basically like a 1990s, early 2000s like action flick.
Right.
So
Oh, that's kind of cool though. If
So,
they actually.
I think it's all different story. Like I think it's the same characters, but that's it. I might
Yeah.
be wrong though.
I have nothing to add because I was not a shooter child. So, yeah.
I remember thinking that Call of Duty was cooler than it was. To be honest, cooler than it is, I should say.
I think the campaigns were cool. Like they did a good job
Yeah.
of like making you feel like a badass.
yeah, like Tom
guess.
Cruise, I
Yeah,
guess,
exactly.
you know?
Yeah,
but like
see-
I don't know, the multiplayer. Like I'm bad at shooters, so it
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
something that
no.
fun for
I
me.
was awful. So I was like, Call of Duty sucks.
I think
But I'm sure they were good games. I was just bad, so I just ragged on them.
Cold War was really popular for the multiplayer because it was literally like in the middle of the worst part of the COVID pandemic. So I really enjoyed playing because there was just so many people. And when there's so many people, the matchmaking, like the skill-based matchmaking works a little bit better. So you probably end up with people who are just as bad at the game as you are.
yeah.
So I'm hoping that the next one's popular, so I'm in the same boat.
Oh, that'd be
rather than
cool.
getting
All right.
dumped on every game.
I respect that.
I will say if there's one thing that the early pandemic was good for, and this is very like, knowing that everything how bad it was, but it was a great time for playing games
Oh, yeah.
with people because I mean people didn't have anything else to do. I'm almost nostalgic for it if it weren't for the fact that the obvious thing that we all know that YouTube will probably take us down if we mention. So
Yeah, no, we can't.
The vid.
the
Global panorama.
Global panorama. Okay. So I mean, yeah, that's October.
Yep.
You got a few big titles.
Hey,
Then
wait,
we got November.
Hold on. While we're talking about October.
Sure.
Actually, I think it's the end of September. We are like going into spooky season. So I think as we're talking about like the mediosphere, it's important to remember that Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out at the end of
Oh.
September.
Oh yeah, my sister is a huge Hocus Pocus fan. I think I watched it with her once, and it's charming. I can understand what
It's
people.
one of those ones you have to watch every year for Halloween. It's like Beetlejuice and Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a better watch, but I do like movies like that where they're very
Feel
specific.
good Halloween movies.
They're very specific to a time of year. Like it's something like for me, it's not a movie. I mean, it kind of is if you watch it all at once. But Over the Garden Wall is a full-time watch for me. It is for those of you who have not seen it. Imagine Alice in Wonderland, but American folklore and culture instead of British.
Interesting.
It's about two brothers who end up in this strange unknown world that is full of like very you got like pumpkin people and talking frogs, and it's very New England.
Is it spooky or is it scary?
I would say it treads a fine line because there's some genuinely unsettling stuff in there as early Americana New
there's some
England
creepy
folklore. But there's also stuff that's just spooky. You
Yeah.
know, I'd say it treads that fine line that old folklore stuff kind of does. Where it's both like funny but also like really unsettling, and if you really think about it.
Okay.
But yeah, good watch. Fall time. I just love fall time.
I know, me too.
I'm very excited for it. I know we don't get that crisp fall weather that we had when we were wee lads anymore. But
You got to be careful. You can't talk about that on YouTube either.
Yeah,
I'm
come
not
on,
saying
come on,
I'm not
Charlie.
saying there's a reason that it's getting warmer
Certainly
or
not
anything.
man-made.
It's not like a man-made thing that is the fault of large corporations.
Right, no. Definitely not.
It's definitely not.
It's actually because you didn't recycle that Gatorade bottle when you were 13. Charlie.
Yeah, it's because I accidentally put my paper plate in the general trash instead of the recycling.
Yes.
I didn't take the sticker off of the plastic strawberry bin when I recycled it.
Ugh.
So they had to throw out that whole batch and
We're all guilty.
choke the
Yeah,
turtle.
we're just so guilty.
It's our
here.
fault.
Okay, so November.
So fall. We're in the comfy fall season of games. I mean, I guess October is, but now November is like we're getting into real peak comfy.
I think I'm gonna need to replay Night in the Woods. For
I actually-
it's like a fall time game. It's perfect. It's like a very cutesy kind of cartoon look to it.
Yeah.
But it's also just very cozy with some darker undertones. Like it's a perfect like cozy like October fall time game.
I've got to play that one.
Highly recommend.
I think I have it. I have a lot of Steam games that I haven't played. I've been trying to get through my recent purchases. I got Eastward recently, thanks to my good pal Tyler here.
That's
And
a spooky game. That's actually there's unsettling stuff in that. That would
Yeah.
be a good Halloween play.
I think I'm at the point where, spoiler warning for people who haven't played Eastward.
Oh, you started it.
Yeah, I started it.
Oh, okay.
I spent a lot of time playing the in-game.
Oh, that's
game.
right. We talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they have like I don't know if this is necessarily a spoiler because it's
don't
literally
think so.
the beginning of the game. The game, which is kind of like a Zelda meets Earthbound kind
Yeah.
of thing.
It's something bound too, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was just Eastward, so it's kind of like similar naming convention.
Maybe. I don't know.
But I think Eastward's the name of the game. And in the game, there is a traditional RPG that you can play at like a convenience store. That's kind of like Dragon
old
Quest.
school, like NES.
Yeah, like 8-bit
like
graphics.
JRPG.
And the fun thing about it is that there's a time limit to the game. There's like a day and night system in it. So you have like 5 days in that game to complete it. So it gets very addicting to play it. And then I'm like, oh, I've just spent 3 hours playing this game instead of progressing the actual game.
And like in the actual game, there's like collectible tokens, and you give in the tokens at shops to get like
like-
gachapon.
yeah, it's kind of like Amiibo
And,
for the
and
game.
yeah, they give you like amiibo for the in-game game.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
There's the Mad Lads who made this game put a game
It was
within
like
a game.
3 people in
Yeah.
China who got kicked out of their office because the building closed because of COVID, and it still
Really?
came out on time.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn, good for them. Yeah, it's fantastic. I gotta keep working on it.
Maybe we'll have to take a closer look.
Oh, that's a good stinger.
I know, right?
Yeah. We'll use that when we're editing the video. For
Yeah.
that. Anyway, so let's see. We got November up next.
November. Yeah,
We're still talking cozy fall weather. Not necessarily spooky. I feel like that dies on November 1st. But I'm serious.
Yeah,
I mean,
November
we're-
1st is Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
season.
We're-
What scary movie has happened after October 31st?
That's fair.
fair,
right?
Krampus.
Yeah, dude, you're right.
I mean, we're in New England.
Krampus.
So,
What a funny movie.
So as soon as like the Halloween, I mean, we've had snow on Halloween before too.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
usually by November, it's not even like comfy fall anymore. Like it's kind of, I mean, it's nice.
It's nippy.
I
like nippy.
I like cold weather. Like you
Yeah.
know, some people be like, "Oh God, New England's so cold," but I prefer like 50s, 60s in terms of
100%.
I say it all the time. You can always add layers, but you can only take off so much clothing before it's illegal.
Yeah. So yeah, we're comfy. A lot of games coming out this month.
Yeah, speaking of taking off enough clothes, a God of War Ragnarok.
Dude, it's like
the shirtless god himself.
It's like the
Kratos.
Marvel
What a
movie.
good swing.
Thanks, man. I try to get good with the
Transitions.
segues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
segues.
yeah. No. So
Segues.
critically acclaimed God of War. I believe that was 2018, 2019.
I thought the sequel was.
Well, yeah. So God of War 4, which was just called God of War,
Oh, okay.
which was the one with his son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that was 2018 or 2019.
Wait, so is this a sequel to that, or has there been a game in between?
So technically they're all like released in chronological order. So there's not like it was more like a soft reboot for God of War because it was like there's a time skip. Kratos is an old man. He has a kid.
yeah.
And they're all
There was one in between that one and this one, though, wasn't there?
not to my knowledge.
I'm
No,
not-
this
I'm
this
not a
is
God of War
the
guy, so.
as far as I'm aware, this is the
Maybe they just re-released it for the PlayStation 5, and I thought it was a new game.
that sounds about right. That sounds very Sony.
The extent of my God of War knowledge is that you can fight him in Shovel Knight. You can fight Kratos in
He's,
Shovel
he's
Knight.
the funny
didn't
guy
know.
who says "boy," right?
Yeah. He's like, boy.
Yeah,
That's
Hank
all I
Hill, boy. Baba, get over here.
Bobby.
Bobby.
All right, so before we get into the really big one that comes out, another smaller game which I'm very excited for is going to be Warhammer 40K Darktide. I honestly think Darktide's going to be great. I like Vermintide. I think so it takes like a zombie horde kind of thing. Are you familiar with it? I'm not sure if you've heard me and the other guys talking about it.
I've
I'm
heard you
familiar
talk
with the
about it.
review on Steam
Yeah.
for Vermintide.
I've heard you guys talk about it, but some of my knowledge is that I've seen the name before.
Yeah. So basically, it takes like a Left 4 Dead-ish approach to the Warhammer universe.
But worse.
Yeah, it's not. Here's the thing. I just think you'll never get as good as Left 4 Dead, but
Well,
or
that is,
specifically
like,
Left 4 Dead 2.
Peak multiplayer, really.
Yeah, I think
in general.
Left 4 Dead 2 is like it's a classic. But I gotta say, I think Darktide is probably gonna fit. It's gonna hit a lot of the right spots for
Is
me,
it
man.
is it 40K or is it?
It's
Warhammer
40K.
Fantasy? Oh, it's 40K.
It's 40K, but it's made by the same team that
So
did
it really
Vermintide.
is like a new Vermintide.
It really is, yeah. Except now it's with like the sci-fi flavor, and you're fighting off chaos on a hive world. And you could play as like the Bulgrin from the Imperial Guard. You could play as like you could play as some kind of psyker, and then it's a lot of 40K goodness. If
I
you
was
like Warhammer,
burnt
you
pretty
should.
badly by the last like 2 40K games I played.
Have you ever played Space Marine?
I mean, I played the board game.
No. I'm talking about Warhammer 40K Space Marine.
No, that was on the 360, right?
Yes, it's a jolly good time. Don't think too deep about it, but it is a lot of fun.
It's one of those where you remember it being really good and you don't want to play it again because you don't want to actually feel the game again.
I replayed it this past summer and I actually had a blast doing it.
Sheesh.
It was a ton of fun. Yeah, I mean it's a quick like 6-hour campaign. I think
Quick.
that's quick, dude. 6-hour campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
That's
pretty fun.
like 2 nights.
Dude, that's one weekend day if you're committed.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah,
No
so-
life in.
Yeah, it's like a hack and slash. It's like a third person hack and
No,
slash.
I
It's a good
remember.
time.
I remember.
Yeah, big
What,
fan.
did you play it on Steam or you got
On
the
Steam,
Dusty
yeah.
X3 360 out?
No. I'm pretty sure my 360 is like a cadaver at this point.
Speaking of cadavers, we got the big November game to talk about: Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet.
I'm going to get another Nooner.
Yeah, see, Tyler here is not a Pokemon guy, but Jared and I are big Pokemon guys. Jared actually got me into Pokemon by convincing me that Pikachu was a rabbit. Rabbits were my favorite animal at the time. And
We were probably like 6 years old when this happened.
yeah, this
right?
was elementary school. Around the time of like I think Diamond and Pearl had already been out for a little while. It was before Platinum, so it was like Gen 4 had just come out.
Oh, okay. See,
Because I remember you guys were still playing like Emerald and stuff.
yeah, because
at the time.
I started with Sapphire. That was my
Yeah.
first real like video game that wasn't like a leapfrog.
Yeah. But I remember like they would all want to play Pokemon on the playground, make believe stuff, and I was like, Pokemon, that's stupid. And they're like, Pikachu, he's a rabbit, and I was like, rabbits were my favorite animals. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess Pokemon's pretty cool. He was a mouse. They tricked
You're
me.
right. Yeah.
Fun fact: Pikachu was actually supposed to be a squirrel, according to the woman who designed Pikachu.
I mean, if you look at the tail, I could kind of see
Yeah,
it, right?
Yeah, it's like he was like a mix of like a squirrel and some Japanese dessert. But yeah, so Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet, the big new entry. I will say I am nice. We got the nice.
Yeah, Tyler was sliding his neuter. Is that an aluminum koozie?
Yes.
That is awesome. All right. So sorry about that.
No,
So
no,
Scarlet and
sorry.
Violet are
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah, so I will disclaim what I'm about to say. I love Pokemon. It's probably my favorite franchise. If I had to live in a fictional world, it would be this. But like things that you love, you're very. Oh, we got the ASMR.
That's nice.
Like with a lot of things that you love, you're usually extremely critical of it. So I thought Pokemon Sword and Shield were shit for a Pokemon game. They're still fine games. It's not like unplayable by any means. And I do think graphically, okay, they're kind of shit graphically, but
Oh yeah, dude. The
the
dog
art
shit.
style, I liked the cell shaded
Yes.
models with the outlines. I will say if there's one
Hold on, I have
thing
to run the
that
numbers. I don't remember which game that was.
that Sword and Shield 2018, 2019, I think 2019 release.
That was
I
like the
believe you're
baby
right.
version of.
Of the current game.
Yeah, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. So Sword and Shield, I disappointed. Especially, I was one of those people who was upset with the erasure of the national decks. I always liked, porting over old Pokemon. I mean, I always, used new ones in the game. I wasn't one of those people who uses the same team every time. But, I enjoyed being able to bring older ones in and just the variety that allowed. And so I was a little disappointed by that. But Legends Arceus, that surprised me. I enjoyed that.
My
lot.
expectations were like through the floor.
Oh, yeah. No, I was expecting them to be as bad as Sword and Shield were to me. But Legends Arceus is the most fun I've had with a Pokemon game since probably Black and White 2. Maybe Sun and Moon. I liked Sun and Moon.
Sun and Moon is underrated, I'd say. But
Yeah.
I think for Legends Arceus, I was not just pleasantly surprised, but it might have also been my favorite mainline Pokemon game.
You could say that the series finally evolved.
And then
like the whole mechanics of it, actually physically catching them in the overworld by throwing
Yeah.
balls, and I like
that I think was my favorite change because
Yeah.
I never actually liked the whole catch 'em all aspect. I've never cared about it.
Yeah.
But Arceus, they made it fun.
they incentivized you to
Yeah.
literally catch them all.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously, spoiler alert, you couldn't get Arceus unless you did catch them all, minus the ones that you got if you owned other games. But yeah, it actually made completing the decks fun. It also made catching not as grindy. Like, you weren't having to necessarily go through a whole battle and like lower their health and give them, status effects. You could just hide in the grass, crack them in the back of the skull with a hollowed out seed, and that was it. And I will say it's certainly a flawed game. It is a game made by Game Freak, so that it's already negative points.
Yeah,
for
we're talking like a 7 out of 10 here. Right?
Yeah,
Modern Game Freak 7 out of 10 tops.
For an open world game, the level design starts at its best and slowly degrades the rest of the game. The final area, the ice area, is probably the worst environment in a
So
3D
bad.
game I've ever played. It is just open fields. It kind of goes against the whole point of the game. Like, there's nowhere to hide to catch the Pokemon, so you can't even like just do the whole ball throwing. Anyways, Legends Arceus surprised me. I had fun. It did feel a little colder than most Pokemon games. I didn't have that like intimate experience with my team.
I would say so. I mean, I think that's kind of how the game was designed.
Yeah.
Just because they made it so easy to level up and catch new
Oh
Pokemon.
yeah, no. Most of my Pokemon like leveled up and evolved without me ever using them in battle.
Right.
So that was a little sad.
But I mean, I think with all Pokemon games, at least in recent memory, it seems like a 1 step forward, 2 steps back scenario with Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, no, Scarlet and Violet. I guess Legends Arceus set my expectations a little high. I expected them to build upon and improve, but Scarlet and Violet definitely is it's very obvious that they were being co-developed.
Yeah.
And I think they've even admitted that. But they do look a step above Sword and Shield, maybe a step below Arceus. Graphically, I still think Sword and Shield kind of beats them on that. I just don't like not even like I see people complaining about the humans looking like Pixar characters. I don't care. I just think the Pokemon don't look good without solid lines on the models.
Honestly, I think a lot of it, and obviously you were the animation major, so like, you're much more well versed in
The
this stuff.
art student.
I feel like the art style is fine. The models seem like they have a lot more detail than they normally do. Is
yeah,
it
no,
just
that's
the
nice.
lighting? I feel like the lighting in these past couple of games has been awful.
Yeah.
Like Legends Arceus is gross.
I think Sword and Shield had fine lighting because it looked like they were using colored lighting. And for the uninitiated out there, when you're lighting stuff in a 3D environment, a lot of the basic stuff is like white light, black shade. And that causes things to look very plastic and kind of like out of the box. So I think a lot of people do is they will give shading and lighting a little bit of hue depending on like the context of the lighting, like warm lighting, cool lighting, all that. And Sword and Shield did that, from what I remember, anyways. Legends Arceus was very plastic looking, and I think with how bright the lighting was in that game, a lot of the models it was very hard to make out detail.
Yeah.
How's it going, Tyler?
I was gonna say I think it's actually a technical thing because I'm pretty sure the Switch has really bad lighting in general. Like it's very poorly optimized.
Sure, but
That's why if you look at a lot of other games, they try to stay away from it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. There's other games on the Switch that almost use. Okay, so Breath of the Wild, I'll say, uses that handicap very well, and they use that cell shaded look, and I think it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, even
Right,
Mario
in the lighting-
and Kirby look fine with
Yeah.
the lighting.
Yeah, and even and this is my one example. I don't even really like the game that much, but graphically, it just blows every other Switch game out of the water. Any of the Xenoblade games,
Yeah,
like they look phenomenal.
and
Mario Kart.
it reminds
You're right,
you.
Mario
Mario
Kart
Kart
looks
looks insane.
phenomenal.
And when you compare, especially when you Mario Kart is definitely the best looking Switch game. I would say that I remember anyways. If you compare a small, relatively small, I know Xenoblade fans will be like, "Oh, Xenoblade is a Nintendo staple." Xenoblade is a very small franchise.
It is.
It's a very small franchise compared to Pokemon. It makes a fraction, like a not even a like two. You know, it makes
Wait.
not a lot of money compared to Pokemon.
It
but
just
looks
dawned
so-
on me what you're talking about. Xenoblade is a first party title.
Well, it basically is. So
think it
Monolith
is.
Soft develops it.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're like a second party. They're the equivalent of what because Game Freak is a second party studio. They're partially like they.
Monolith is also the one making Metroid.
No, I
No.
think that's
I'm forgetting the studio name.
Oh no, it's the same
Whoops.
people who did.
Donkey Kong. I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so Xenoblade,
Sorry.
fraction,
That's okay.
super small budget, super small profit, super niche. Looks way better than the highest grossing multimedia franchise in human history. Not even on the planet currently. In human history, Pokemon has made more money than any other fictional concept. Well, that might be a stretch, but it's made more money than any media franchise ever. Star Wars, Marvel, fucking Mickey Mouse, Hello Kitty. I'm trying to think of the other big ones. I'm pretty sure Pokemon makes more than a few of the top ones combined. I wouldn't say all of them, but it makes more money than Star Wars, which has been around like what, twice as long.
77?
Yeah.
I think. I'm trying to think. Yeah,
they-
probably about twice as
fucking
long.
Star Wars had a head start. They invented merchandising for movies, and Pokemon beat them. But you know, so Scarlet and Violet, they look. I'm not a big graphics guy, but even for me, they look bad. You can count the number of pixels on the textures.
Yeah, like I feel like I can forgive a lot of games that don't look good graphically if they're fun.
That's-
Right, and I've done that for the past couple of Pokemon games. I had Shield. I played through all the DLC and everything too. And
Yeah.
I think it was a fine game. Like mechanically speaking, it's just Arceus for me. Even though I was having probably the most fun I've had in a long time with Pokemon. Just I feel like it almost detracts from the experience because it pulls me out of it so many times because I'm like, this just feels unpolished.
Yeah,
you know.
and that's the thing. You know, it's Pokemon. They get so stuck in their rut that when they do new things, it's better, but it's also unpolished at the same time.
Yeah.
But,
We should do a full Pokemon podcast at some point. We can
Yeah.
absolutely do a full episode
Yeah.
just talking about the issues.
In the meantime, I want you to tell me about Callisto Protocol.
Oh yeah. Okay. So if we go into December here, going
Oh,
back to
before we
Yeah.
go into December, I just realized we never actually talked about Scarlet and Violet. We just talked about
shit,
last
you're
week.
right.
All right, I'll say this really quick.
Sorry.
Scarlet and Violet look fun. They look shit. I mean, the models of the Pokemon and characters themselves look fine. I think they need outlines. You know, it's competent, but the graphic, textures and stuff look bad. But the game looks fun. You know, that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
I was very hard on Sword and Shield because it was just everything that we've had before. But Scarlet and Violet are doing something new, like how Arceus did. It's an open world. You can play through the campaign with friends, which is the big selling point.
Which
for
is
me.
insane for me.
Yeah. And it looks better, but I still expect more from them, I guess. I'm still gonna give it a fair shot, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm not like a pessimist with this one like I was with Sword and Shield. So
Cool. All right. Well, if we're gonna keep moving on, we got in December. We have Hello Neighbor 2,
Oh,
Dragon
Jesus.
Quest Treasures, and Callisto Protocol. Now, here's the thing. As a kid, probably when I was too young to be playing it, I played Dead Space. I very much enjoyed it because I was brutally murdered by basically alien zombies, essentially, in many different ways, very graphically. Okay, and Dead Space is one of those reasons like why I love horror as much as I do.
Okay.
You know, that and the Alien, like the original Alien movie by Ridley Scott.
Did you see the Alien fire teams?
Yeah, I'm not like I'm sure the game itself is completely fine. I have no issues with it. Personally, I think Aliens was fine when it focused on the Colonial Marines, but I think Alien as the xenomorph creature works so much better in isolation.
Oh, you mean like in a movie where you can't see it?
Well, no, I think Alien, like the original Alien, did a great job with that.
Yeah, I know, but you don't see it until like.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I think that holds true for every horror villain.
yeah,
No,
true,
that's
true.
I think like
To
keep
make
them
it
shrouded in darkness.
yes.
You know,
That's
like-
how you make anything effectively scary.
Yeah.
Because to make something scary, you just got to let the human mind kind of imagine what it is. Because our brains are going to make something scarier than, I mean, obviously the xenomorph looks scary, and so
Right,
do a
right,
lot of
right.
horror movie villains and creatures. But like the anticipation of not knowing what it is scarier than actually seeing it.
Yeah, it's about building up the environment in
Yeah.
a lot of things, and the
Yeah.
Callisto Protocol game seems to be doing that. So it's basically a spiritual successor to Dead Space,
Okay.
which is funny because I found out about this around the same time that I found out that Dead Space is getting a remake in January. So we can touch on that in a second.
You have to make a comparison.
Oh yeah, but for Callisto Protocol, it's the same kind of thing where like you will get murdered just brutally. I don't know, I have high hopes for it. The graphics look great. Mechanically, it's like a horror survival game on essentially like I believe it's on a derelict ship. I'll need to rewatch.
Have
What's
you
up?
guys seen that indie game where you're in a submarine? on
Oh,
a spooky planet.
Subnautica?
No,
Is
no,
that
no,
it?
no. It's like a horror game.
I know the one you're talking about, but I don't remember. It's like the one where it's just like I think you have like a limited time to
Yeah.
get out.
And you can't actually see anything outside the sub.
Oh shit! I think I'm thinking of a different game too.
I'm not
I've
sure what you're
heard of the
talking
one
about.
where it's like, oh, I'm stuck in a submarine and where I'm in a blood ocean as punishment for my crimes or whatever.
Yeah, that one I think.
I only heard the memes about that, specifically the ones where it was Minion Facebook memes, but edited to be about that game.
No, that wasn't the game I was thinking of. Barotrauma. It's this like imagine Tarkov but underwater on another planet.
Yeah, and it's
Is it multiplayer?
Yes.
Oh,
So
Oh,
it's
that
like
one's multiplayer.
it's a 2D game. So your submarine is like you can jump between the different levels and everything.
oh, it's 2D.
It's 2D.
Oh.
This is something like even different than the other one we were talking about. I'm
Oh,
just like
this isn't the Blood
I'm
Ocean
dying
one?
of dementia, so I can keep them together. So there's the Blood Ocean one, then there's this one. So it's like it's kind of like the theming of Tarkov or like Metro, like that kind of like pseudo future Soviet, and
okay.
instead of being like miners on another planet, you're like sub crews, like going for like treasure and stuff or like random things you can only get underwater. And it's this like horrifying atmosphere. It's like the only thing that you can see is like the sub and like inches in front of it.
Ooh,
I dig that.
And you're like fighting like alien squids basically. But it's kind of that thing like you were talking about where it's like it's horrifying only because you don't know what's out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what's this called again? I want to check it out.
Barotrauma.
Barotrauma.
It's kind of like
name.
like in terms of like gameplay, it's very much so like a 2D like Guns of Icarus. Like you're controlling. You have someone who's like the medic who's making sure everyone's okay, and then there's someone who's the engineer who's like repairing the submarine.
I want to check this out, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it out now?
Yeah.
Or is it? Oh,
I think it's in early access, but it still has a lot of content.
Okay.
We could if we venture into the streaming content.
I've actually pitched the idea of doing tier list Tuesdays. I think that would be very fun. Like pick a
Oh,
Tuesday,
that would be good.
one Tuesday a month that we all just argue for like 2 hours about a tier list. Oh man, we never get
Dude,
time for that.
salty. Oh no, we do what is it? Tall Tale Wednesdays
Tall
for
Tale-
Sea
Tall
of
Tale,
Thieves. We're the grog guzzlers. We
We guzzle
drink-
grog and lose.
Yeah.
All right, so let's try to rapid fire some of these because I suspect there's going to be a handful of these that we have passing knowledge of, and that's
Yeah.
about it. So that kind of closes out 2022. Those are pretty much the rest of the big releases that we got going on. 2023. At the time of me writing these notes, we have confirmed dates for 3 big games. The first up would be the Dead Space remake, which is on January 27th. Yeah, so I mean, Dead Space. I'm curious how this is going to go against Callisto
I'll
Protocol.
look at it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like graphically it'll be very impressive. I'm sure the gameplay is going to improve and everything. I'm excited for it though. I'll check it out. Then we got Forspoken, which is like a fantasy. I think it's first person, like RPG.
Next.
Just real quick. I wanted this suffers so hard from like the MCU ish dialogue. So like in the trailers, it's the main character and she's saying stuff like, "Oh, so let me get this right. I'm in an alternative dimension with a talking sword, and there's freaking dragons." Yeah, I'm pressing skip on that one.
It's like the Millennial movie.
Yeah, and then
Awkward.
and then Resident Evil 4 is getting a remake. So I'm curious if we're going to be getting decent controls with it this time because that is a
scary.
scary game, dude.
Scary.
The original is terrifying, especially like growing up playing that. Oh, it's so good.
Not even remotely cozy.
No, it's definitely not
Yeah.
cozy scary.
See, it doesn't register on the cozy meter, so I never played it.
That's gonna be a no. Yeah.
All right, so other big titles. We got Starfield, Skyrim in space, baby.
Next.
Seinfeld, the game.
Is Seinfeld the game? Oh, Jerry, let me.
There's
Yeah, my
thousands of
Seinfeld impression
planets.
is just him yelling at Jerry Seinfeld.
There's thousands of planets. At least 10 of them we actually made by hand.
All right, Final Fantasy 16. I think Final Fantasy is cool. Next.
Final
I haven't played the
Fantasy,
first
more like-
15. I gotta go back first.
Honestly, they call it Final Fantasy, but there have been multiple of them. So when's the actual
Yeah,
Final
right.
Fantasy?
You know damn well they're going to do that like probably a decade from now and be
When-
like the Final Fantasy, and it's going to be like this like big crossover game with all the other characters.
So
from the
whenever a
first
new
games.
one comes out, does that mean the previous one is now the penultimate fantasy?
You know, you got a point.
Yeah, it's not. Final Fantasy is interesting to me because it starts off as a very like medieval fantasy game and like pretty general fantasy concept.
and
Now you
then
look
not
at it
even a
today-
decade later, it's like cyberpunk with
Yeah.
motorcycles.
But even like that's
Yeah.
kind of like a fantasy-ish because it's still not real.
Yeah, it's like
more sci-fi.
steampunky. Yeah.
But then you look at it today and it's like a bunch of pretty boys pushing a car down a road. They don't look like fantasy characters.
Yeah, it's still odd because you get like your traditional like monsters and like you get your swords, your mages, like you
Yeah.
get all that stuff, but you have it in like this kind of like I think it's called
Modern.
mage. I think it's mage punk. Is what it's called, where it's like it's like the magical influence technology, which is like a big part of it. But like I don't care for MMOs.
I think the problem with that is it's like, yeah, they turn into MMOs. Like the original games, they were like pretty much the peak of what a JRPG is. And then, like turn-based at least. And then now there's like other games that do better than they do.
Yeah, I know a lot of our friends play was Final Fantasy Online.
I believe it's Final Fantasy 15.
15, whatever the online mobile one
It's,
is.
it's either 14 or 15.
Yeah,
It's one of them.
That one definitely looks a little more fantasy than the one that was like
Yeah.
the four dudes
Yeah.
pushing a normal ass car. Like you show me that game, I can't imagine like the fucking Moogles or the black mages or the other iconic fantasy characters.
Maybe we're just boomers who don't like change.
It's not even that. I'm a sucker for anything that's very like quiche. Final Fantasy was originally very like very very like old timey fantasy.
Yeah.
So I dig that. I don't like these fucking Zoomer aesthetics. I don't know.
I mean, they're all the same, my boys. So let's see, Diablo 4. I'm happy that it's finally.
You don't have
happening.
phones? You don't have phones?
Yeah,
you guys don't have phones?
Isn't that a season April Fool's joke?
This is the one that.
Yeah, no.
No,
This is
this is
an
an
honest to god Diablo 4, not the crappy mobile game that they pushed out a few years back.
I don't know anything about Diablo. So
Yeah, I'm happy it's finally happening. I
yeah,
played
I'm
Diablo
sorry.
3 quite a bit.
Good,
I was
good,
more of a Torchlight kind of guy.
good for Diablo fans.
Yeah, but even then, like, I feel like a lot of people that I've seen, like, in comments and stuff, just do not seem confident after
Yeah,
the whole
no, I
debacle
think
with
it's
the
gonna
last
be bad.
game. Yeah.
That's also Activision, isn't it?
It's Blizzard. Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's
Blizzard.
Bl-
Activision.
whatever
Yeah,
it is Blizzard.
yeah.
So, I mean,
Yikes.
Next.
Baldur's Gate 3,
Yo,
baby.
shout out-
Tyler, aren't you? Oh, no, you're not? Okay, I thought Tyler was into Baldur's
Shout out
Gate.
to the punks of Baldur's Gate. You guys will know what that means. Anyone else?
people
Most
have
people.
read it.
Most people are. No, it's literally just a D&D campaign I've played with friends for
Oh,
a couple
okay,
of years.
okay.
Oh,
now.
nice. All right. Okay, this one is strictly for me, and I won't take up too much of your time. Street Fighter 6. Oh my God, Street Fighter looks fun again. Oh,
Wow, it's
Wow,
a-
it's
a
like Street
game-
Fighter, but
it's-
like
it's-
6.
Okay.
It's like Street Fighter 5, but plus one.
Like I said, it's doing something that Street Fighter 5 failed at miserably.
Jiggle
They're
physics?
using the what?
What?
I'm joking. I've seen people talk about either like the facial expressions or the certain physics that they've given the game.
Which is yes.
Yes, I'm not one of those kind of guys who that's my selling point in a game, but that's
Yeah.
all I've seen people talk about.
Yeah, but honestly, so like, I mean, the expressions are just kind of like a goofy pre-game thing you could do.
No, that's fun. That's quirky. It's
Yeah,
goofy.
I'm
It's
down for
wacky. I dig it.
And like at the same time, you're doing like it's a fighting game. It's a fighting game, which is already like just kind of.
I definitely need to clip that. It's quirky. It's goofy.
quirky,
It's
it's goofy.
wacky.
But yeah, no, they improved the 3D models so much, so like the characters don't look like crap anymore. And again, I know I keep saying that I'm not like a big graphics guy, but there's games where it is just so bad it detracts from it. I will rather play. I'd rather go back like another 5 years and just play Street Fighter 4 instead of playing Street Fighter 5. But also, I think the gameplay for 6 is going to be taking inspiration from the earlier entries.
Yeah.
So
Good for Street Fighter fans.
yeah, good for me. Spider-Man 2, baby,
I
for
don't
the
have a
PS5.
PlayStation next.
Well, guess what? It's now on
Not
Steam.
about the money,
It's on Steam?
Spider-Man.
It's sequel. Yeah, dude, it just came out. The remastered version came out on Steam.
Oh.
Yeah. But no, so yeah, Spider-Man 2 for PS5. I'll make this quick. It's the only video game that's ever made me cry. I cried twice in the last half hour of that game.
When
Did you ever play Last of Us?
Kingpin started ranting about the Mets, Jared was bawling.
Yeah, he's like,
About the
I'm
Mets,
still
Spider-Man."
in prison, Peter. Yeah. No.
Love the Mets.
Did I play Last of Us? Yes. I think the Last of Us story is cool. No, it did not make
Your
me
eyes
cry.
didn't tinkle?
No, not at all, dude. It's no.
I've never
But yeah,
played it.
no. So
I was
Spider-Man
just
2,
guessing.
it's a top 3 game for me. Spider-Man for the PS4 is a top 3 game for me. I'm so excited.
As someone who lived in New York for a couple of years, in New York City, I will say pretty accurate representation of New York City life.
Yeah, just random dude falling on you from like
Yeah,
sky. Yeah.
it's happened to me more times than I'd like to admit.
I'm more excited for Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, dude. When I was in New York, I got to see that at an early premiere that the directors were at, and I got to I went with my college roommate at the time. Shout out to Andreas, and we got to see it like a couple of weeks before it came out.
The original, you mean?
The original Spider-Verse, yeah, and that was an experience.
It
Like
was
not
top
like
10.
it was super.
Such a good movie.
You know, we were some of the first people in the world to see that movie, which was already a cool thing. I've never had that happen to me before, but you know, just seeing like all the love put into it. You know, the beginning was we were dying. All the jokes. You know, the Spider-Man popsicle and the Spider-Man 3 dancing, and like we were and it just turned out to be a really good movie. We
It was a
walked
good
out of
movie.
there both being like, man, I would love to be Spider-Man, especially because you know we lived in New York, so just
Yeah.
looking at all the buildings that we could hypothetically
And
swing
it's
off
like
of.
it's like a coming of age story for the new age.
Yeah,
For sure.
It's definitely like if I were to sum up any movie as like a passing the torch kind of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
It's perfect.
Is the sequel supposed to come out?
Yeah, so
Part
that's
one.
coming out next year. It was supposed to come out this year, but then it got delayed.
Yeah, I mean, you know, delays I think are always a good thing because it gives
Yeah.
the artists and just people involved more time so they don't
How
have to
about
crunch.
how about these studios, whether it's movies or games? How about they just stop announcing things when like they just put it in the oven?
Well,
You know,
that's-
don't say this is coming out.
Well,
like
dude,
with this next game, Breath of the Wild. That we're
How are they
going to
get the funny stock number to go up if they don't announce things that make the funny stock
Well,
number
like
go
it's fine, but at the same time, like set realistic timelines. I wouldn't be mad if they're like, hey, the next Spider-Verse movie comes out in 3 years. I'd be like, great. That gives like that because that seems like a reasonable timeline for a movie like that.
In the defense
right?
of everyone, though, COVID kind of changed everything.
Oh
Yes.
no, it totally did. Which like I totally understand that, but like the fact that like
I mean-
a lot of this is still happening in like game
True.
studios. Yeah, it's an upper management thing. This is nothing against the developers, right? Where like and again, this carries over a lot to the movie industry as well. Where like they'll keep delaying things by like a couple months, right? And I'm like, or you could just push it back a year, just chalk it up to sorry, we're not making this one in the fiscal year, and just
I
wait
think the
for it to be
problem
done.
is that all these different companies saw how Cyberpunk was released, and they're like, "That was perfect. This is exactly what we want to do. We're going to do this for
What?
every game."
It's
every
still
movie."
sold gangbusters, man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
release a game unfinished and buggy. I mean, I've seen so many games do this now where they're like, it's the open beta, but it's really the release
the
of the
game.
game.
It's
and
the
they're
open
working
beta,
on
but
it.
you're paying like $60 for it.
Yeah, like I mean, Multiversus is free to play, so it's not like the same example. And I actually really like Multiversus, but it's definitely the same thing where it's like, oh, we're in the open beta, but it's
It's just people trying to shield themselves from
Yeah.
criticism.
yeah, and
Yeah, it's also people coping as well. Like, dude, okay, listen, I've been that way with games too before, where like everybody's like, oh, it's so bad, and then I'd be like, oh, it's just the open beta, and then nothing changes.
what didn't a game do that recently? Like Halo.
It was Halo, yeah. So I was playing Halo Infinite, and
Don't
I was
get
like,
me
no,
started.
they're gonna fix it. Yeah, that's another thing, dude. I could talk about the story of Halo Infinite for a fucking
Here's
hour,
my
dude.
conspiracy.
I
real
have
quick.
faith in Multiversus. I will add.
I mean, well, it launched good though. Like,
Yeah, no, it's.
they'll be releasing more content as they already have. I'm
I-
not worried about it.
Oh,
You ready for the
who's
conspiracy
popping
of the century, right? So you go back to the GameCube. I think it was Twilight Princess. They teased it like years before it came out,
up? Oh yeah.
and then it came out for the Wii in addition to the GameCube, right?
Yes.
then you
weren't
have-
people like pissed about that?
Yeah.
Like we want a real GameCube Zelda because what's this kiddie shit? Wind Waker.
So then the same thing happened with Breath of the Wild. They teased it for years before it came out on the Switch, and it came out for both the Wii U and the Switch. They teased Breath of the Wild 2 years ago. Is it going to come out for the Switch and the Switch U, the Switch Pro, the Switch 2?
I'm muting Discord. Please forgive me.
Yeah, a lot of our friends like this ping spam for no goddamn reason.
I don't know why it's happening since the number one ping spammers in this chat are here.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's some folks not
Yeah.
naming names who will spam at everyone like 10 times in a row to get attention. It's like, dude, one was enough. I saw the notification.
Yeah, no, yeah, so I mean, talking about sequel to the Breath of the Wild. I can't believe they haven't even given us a name for it yet.
What do you think though? Do you think that this is them hinting at the next console? Because like every other console has come out with a Zelda title.
So people have been saying that Breath of the Wild 2, I'm just going to call it Breath of the Wild 2 instead of Legend of Zelda, the sequel to the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
It's people have been saying that for the past like probably two and a half years now, that Breath of the Wild 2 is going to launch with the Switch Pro.
Yeah.
But every single time people think that the Switch Pro is finally going to get announced, it never pans out. The closest we got was the Switch Lite.
Yeah,
No, and the Switch
or the OLED, but even then,
Yeah.
it's just a screen. It's not much of a hardware upgrade.
But there's so many things going on in the background that like can't be described in any other way, right? Like Nvidia has said that they are working closely with Nintendo, designing something. There are chip manufacturers in Taiwan that are producing chips that are different from the Switch chips for Nintendo.
I want it to happen.
No, yeah, I definitely want it to happen too. I just I
I'm just
got
saying,
fucking
like
bills to pay,
coincidentally,
dude.
every other time it's happened alongside
That's
Zelda
a
game.
good point. The only time a Nintendo console has had more than one mainline Zelda title was the N64, and even then, Majora's Mask was supposed to be a 64 disc drive,
Right.
because that was like the next, and then they canceled that, so it was just a regular 64 game. But yeah, every other time there's always at the end of. I think maybe not the Wii. I don't think the Wii had that overlap.
That was Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
That came out for the Wii.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like you had Wind Waker on GameCube, and then at the end of the GameCube's life, you had Twilight Princess on both GameCube and Wii,
Yep.
and then you had Skyward Sword, and then you had a long gap, and
Yeah.
then Breath of the Wild came out the end of the Wii U's life cycle, so it came out for both Wii U and
Wii U
Switch.
and Switch,
Which
yeah.
like who the fuck got it for the Wii U?
It ran better on the Wii U. Can you imagine that?
Oof.
That is unsurprising because I mean it's unsurprising at this point just
Not
because like
surprising knowing Nintendo.
yeah well it's because also the Switch's hardware is ass, dude. Like it's so bad.
Look, I do like that you can play the Switch like anywhere technically. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people who fucking brings it on a park bench and plays it. But
Neither did Charlie. They nobody does that. They just did that for the commercials. Okay?
Yeah.
They're like you can take it anywhere.
take
Are
it
you
to a
saying you don't
rooftop
go
party.
to the rooftop party? Yeah.
Dude, if I bring my Switch to places for people to play, I'm bringing the fucking dock and an HDMI. I'm not gonna put that tiny ass screen on the snack table and everyone can gather up
on
around
the
it.
worst little tripod you've ever seen in your entire
doesn't
life.
even actually hold it up half the time. A stiff, not even a stiff breathe, a breath knocks it over. A breath of the wild.
Yeah. Okay. So circling back to that, instead of just the Switch debate.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
like,
excited for the game.
Yeah.
The first one was good. I'm sure the second will be good.
I think
I have
I
have a lot of faith because even if it was literally just a new game and like the same guy. I mean, we already know that it's like it's not the same map. Like they're making changes to it.
Yeah.
And there's the whole like above, and I think there's gonna be an underground.
Yeah, I
section
think so.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like. Even if it was just Breath of the Wild 2, it was using the same map and shit, it would be fun because
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild was
It
fun.
was a good game.
So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to play it with my grandkids when it comes out.
yeah. See, dude, I'm telling you, I want to say this is a game that's coming out in 2023. I don't think I will be very pleasantly surprised.
I think it'll probably be like holiday 2023.
I'm thinking,
2023.
dude, I would not be surprised if we see holiday 2024 for this.
I'm feeling Zelda's anniversary in 2026. That's the big.
Shit.
Dude, you're right.
That's
That's
the big-
is
big
that a
40.
decade from Breath of the Wild's release?
Yeah.
That's the
Because
big.
the first
that's
game came out in 2016.
That
that's
hurts.
the big 40. for
Those are
Zelda.
Animal Crossing numbers.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
dude. Animal Crossing fans were fucking starving for years, and then we got New Horizons, which I stopped playing.
Wet
October.
single-
I want to
Apply
hear
toilet
both of you
paper.
guys talk about this at another date, though, for sure. I want to see you guys just get like an uninterrupted 45 minutes of you guys talking about New Horizons.
I honestly, I can't say much because I stopped playing it
I did
in
too.
October.
Yeah,
because
exactly. You guys
the-
both dropped
village is all
lifelong
weeds.
franchises.
Yeah, because the content drip was so slow, and then you wrap back around to spring, and it's like, okay, Easter again, same event as last year.
And then they added something fun, but only if you paid for it.
Yeah, they added like the big content update that looked good, but I was like, it's been over a year. I haven't even touched the game. Like, I'm sorry, but it's too late. My villagers are probably all malnourished or dead. And
We'll come back to it.
yeah, no, I someday. I mean, when the next one comes out, I'll definitely play
Yeah,
it.
with my grandkids
Yeah, with my grandkids.
on the virtual Switch Boy Pro. thing.
That's no, that's when they'll release the Switch Pro. 60 years from now. We know you guys wanted it. Here it is.
Here it
I know
is.
we
with
already have-
hardware from 2022.
Yeah, we just forgot to push the release button. That's all it was.
Yeah, so next to the big release I could find was Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is the sequel to Fallen Order.
I have to play Fallen Order, but Fallen Order looks good. And
Oh yeah, that one panned out well, right? People said it was good.
I've played it and it was actually very good.
and it ties into the actual lore of the franchise.
Yeah, I mean,
one of the recent shows like referred to it.
Even the Star Wars movies don't do that.
I know.
Yeah.
Star Wars episode, man, it's happening.
Star Wars Episode 8 is the only good sequel movie. I will stand. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah, no, so Jedi Survivor is just going to be following up with Fallen Order. And again, like Fallen Order, pleasantly surprised. I did not expect anything good to come out of an Activision Star Wars game. But here we are. And it was a pretty great single player game.
Yeah.
So let's see. Next up. Oh, yeah. There's one that, Tyler, I
Haunted
think you had.
Chocolatier. Had
Yes.
you heard
yes.
about that?
Yeah, I
Okay,
didn't
fine.
hear about that until I was reading these notes.
So you
know,
you're
no,
the one who put it down in the notes. You go ahead.
So Concerned Ape, the like solo dev behind Stardew Valley, basically teased this on his Twitter. I think this is like his
some
next
social
title
media.
that he's working on.
It's pretty much it's a whimsical fall time fantasy where you make chocolate with spooky
Ghosts.
characters and ghosts. And I mean, Stardew Valley. I can't criticize the graphics because there was one guy doing it, but this game looks like you can tell that he learned a lot about pixel art from
Yeah.
his experience. It looks great. It looks quirky. I like quirky, fun games. I like wacky, quirky, goofy,
quirky,
funny.
goofy.
It's Scrimblow content.
Yes,
man.
I'm a Scrimblow personified. I like old cartoons. I like wacky, silly things. I don't. So this game looks fun. It looks comfy.
It looks like it's playing off of like the Moonlighter title, where it's kind of like
Yeah.
you have a shop that you're running half the time, and the other half the time is you doing like quests or like dungeon runs. to
Yeah,
fill the
kind of
shop.
like it's like. I mean, I know Stardew Valley was obviously like Harvest Moon, but
Yeah.
I get that vibe kind of more from this one, where it's
Yeah.
like you have an act because you're farming in Stardew Valley, but it's
Right.
not really like a business. But this is like you have a business you're running
Yeah.
with shops. You gotta keep up supply.
But then with all of, like the romance and other like
Yeah,
how many
exactly.
things that happen in Stardew Valley, I think it's really like him kind of growing into his own because like it's not Harvest Moon. It's not something that's been done before. Like
Yeah.
no one has ever made a game about being a chocolatier that's
Yeah.
runs a building that's haunted. Like it's
But
just so out of left
Oh
field.
no, and it's really charming. It does give me that vibe though, with like the spending your off time like in the town, interacting with
yeah.
people. No, it looks great. I'm very excited.
The first game sold like gangbusters, so I can only imagine.
Yeah, no, I have high hopes for it. It's usually whenever somebody makes a game on their own, I feel like it tends to be more charming. I mean, not to. I know this is a divisive subject, but Undertale, I think that was pretty much one guy. He had some people help him.
Yeah.
But that was a phenomenal. It was I don't want to say revolutionary, but it was definitely unique and it was very game changing.
Yeah.
It kind of kickstarted the Earthbound like.
It's just wild
Genre.
because I think the coolest thing behind Stardew Valley is, but when he started making that game, he didn't know how to make a game. He didn't know how to do pixel art. He didn't know how to make music.
I mean,
and yet
same
he
thing-
Made
same-
the music,
oh, well.
did the pixel art, and made the game.
Toby Fox definitely knew how to make music for Undertale, but I'm pretty sure it was his first foray into the
Like
actually
coding
coding
and-
because he was famous for making Earthbound hacks.
Oh,
So it's,
okay,
it's
that
funny
explains a lot.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff from his Earthbound hacks that ended up into his later games. So it's really funny that now those games are on an official Nintendo console, and even in Smash too.
Yeah.
His song that he made for an Earthbound ROM hack is now in a official Nintendo game that has Earthbound characters in it, which is wild.
Also, I mean, I'm not sure what other games he's been in, but I know for Sword and Shield he did the Battle Tower
Yeah,
theme, which
and
slaps, by the way.
It's the one good song in the game. I'm sorry.
whoa,
The gym.
whoa,
Everyone's like the gym song is. I don't mean to make the voice. I think the gym song is dog shit. I'm sorry.
It's fun to be wrong.
Did
Anyway,
you guys see
next-
Minecraft Legends?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was going to
Minecraft
ask about
Legends.
that. I liked Minecraft Dungeons. I thought that was pretty fun.
It's like that, I think, but it's like a MOBA. I don't know.
I saw the trailer for it and I was like, is this like Minecraft 2?
I'm trying to remember what it's actually about. Oh, it's like
It's like the Nether is breaking through, right?
it's like RTS.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
it's like a kitty RTS, kind of just like how Minecraft Dungeons was like a kitty Diablo.
If only Microsoft Mojang put this much effort into the main Minecraft game, not throwing shade or
Literally.
anything, but rest in peace the Fireflies. Rest in peace that goddamn last update. Like, what the hell?
I actually haven't played the last update.
It's definitely the epitome of over-promising and under-delivering.
It's
And then
a
going-
corporatization of Minecraft.
Yeah, and then being like, oh, we never actually promised this stuff, even though you have the Minecon. We're like, this is all the stuff that's coming in the Minecraft the next update. And then they fireflies kill frogs, so we'll just have them eat balls of magma instead, because that definitely won't kill a frog.
But we don't know anything about the game otherwise.
Yeah, no, it was just like a.
like
Did
a
they have
teaser.
gameplay footage? I just remember like
I
it was
don't even think there was
pre-rendered
that either.
I think it was-
animation.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was an animation. But last game that I mean, I'm certainly hoping it comes out in 2023.
Let's go.
MGS Trilogy Remastered. So it'll be Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. Dude,
Wow.
if I could play an HD Snake Eater, I'm
I
a
think
bust.
they'll be sold separately though. I think that was like
Yeah.
because it's not even the same publisher allegedly. It's not the same dev studio that is making all three.
Is
Yeah.
Kojima involved with this?
I highly doubt it.
We
Yeah.
joked about that, right? Because it's like Konami. All the leaks would indicate that Konami like just basically told other people like remake this. So like that would be a third party studio to Konami, would it not?
No, you're
so
right.
they know Kojimbo could sneak on in there, and
I'm pretty sure he said he'd rather die than make another Metal Gear game though. So.
that's sad.
I think
The
he was.
whole-
Well, I'm pretty sure, like, outside of Konami, I'm pretty sure he was done after. Like, okay, if he was able to make Phantom Pain the way he wanted to, I think he would have
Yeah,
been
it would
able
be like
to do like a neat
800
bow.
hour-
Yeah, I think he would have been able to put like a nice bow on the Metal Gear games, you know. But yeah, here's the thing: I'm also kind of terrified knowing that it's Konami now. That like
but it's
imagine
not
if
them, right?
Pachinko.
Like they're
well, here's the thing. I'm terrified for them to turn around and be like, "Surprise, bitch! We're doing Metal Gear Pachinko games.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go!"
Dude,
that's what I'm
it's
saying.
Pachinko
if
mini
those
game.
games look half as good as the cutscenes in the Pachinko games, then this is gonna be incredible.
Here's the real question: when are they remaking the Metal Gear games? Not Metal Gear Solid, the original Metal Gear game.
So there's a fan game on Steam called Unmetal. It's like a 2020 take on the original Metal Gear games.
so like
It's
that top-down kind of.
It's extremely tongue in cheek. It is like written like a toddler watching like an 80s action movie. It is literally like the guy who is like replacing Snake is just like a dumbass, and like basically all your options and all the cutscenes like for the things you say, it's either dumb or dumber.
Oh, that's
It is
wonderful.
it is so unbelievably
love
corny.
it.
And like the whole game is written as if it was this guy's memory. So like anytime something bad happens, he's just like, actually, I don't think that's how it happened. And then you get an easier version of the game until you can beat it.
That's
awesome.
really funny. I like that. I like when games incorporate like regular video game mechanics into the game itself.
Yeah.
Not to go back to Undertale, but like the whole saving was a in-universe mechanic.
Yeah. So
You know.
in Unmetal, so the original Metal Gears, I don't think had any save spots. In Unmetal, there's toilets. So anywhere you find a bathroom, it's a save point.
Nice.
And there's like a portable crapper item that you can use to like save anywhere once.
That's great. I love quirky save spots.
It's
in
a short
games.
game. That would be a good like
That'd be fun.
stream game.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we're going to the pipe dreams portion.
Oh
here.
baby.
So let's do it this way. We're like we'll take one of us. We'll just go one at a time. We'll do kind of like a rapid fire selection, and we'll just read off some of the stuff that we'd want. And people can yell at each other if you guys think it's a
Oh,
stupid
yeah, yeah, well,
wish.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. All right. So do you mind?
Sorry.
All right. Do you mind if I take the lead? Would that be okay?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So for pipe dreams games, I want, but I'm fairly certain I'm never going to get. For most of these, at least, I want Spore 2 or a remake of the original Spore. I am going to die on this hill, dude. The original Spore is like the game with modern technology could
Isn't
be
that an
elevated
EA
to
game?
such a level. Yeah, it's an EA
Are you
game.
talking like the way it was released or the way that it was intended?
The way it was intended.
Yes,
because like
'cause-
the image of Spore could be incredible.
Oh yeah, the original vision for Spore is definitely possible nowadays.
Yeah,
like
and-
it was. I think it was definitely harder to make back then. It might have been possible, but today, like, you could easily make it.
I could see them remaking the original, just putting it on the Switch. It seems like the kind of
Yeah.
game that would do well on the Switch.
I mean, dude, Spore has such a big fan base still today that I'm surprised they're not doing anything with it. You know?
Yes.
It's EA,
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah,
EA.
because it's EA.
because
and-
that was done by Maxis, right?
yes.
Yeah, Maxis is dissolved.
Yeah.
Oof.
Don't
Oh,
tell me
yeah.
Never tell me the odds. No, yeah, because they released Darkspore in like 2010. I
Was that
think.
the Wii one?
No, that was Spore Heroes. I think Darkspore. I was a big Spore kid.
I was also a big
I was a
Spore
big
kid.
Spore
Yeah, I was a
kid.
big Spore kid. No, Darkspore came out and it was like this like edgy version where you're like a spacefaring alien, completely different from Spore, but like it just shared the name.
What does our Spore say about this?
Our Spore.
Yeah, can we get
Is there a subreddit for Spore? There's got to be.
can we get some
Yeah.
Spore heads down in the chat?
Yeah.
Spore
All right.
keys.
Next up, I want another fighting game developed by ArcSys, same guys who make Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah,
If
I
you
love
could,
fighting games.
yeah, everybody here loves
Fighting
fighting
games,
games,
yeah.
especially Tyler. No, I think if we got a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fighting game made by ArcSys, I think
I would probably print money.
I don't know how it hasn't happened yet. For other two other games that will happen eventually, I know it. I want Devil May Cry 6. It's been 4 years since Devil May Cry 5, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. I want 6. That's all I want. And then next is Space Marine 2.
Good luck with that.
Well, I mean, they did confirm it.
Oh,
Yeah, no, they confirmed it. They've showed trailers and like brief snippets of gameplay.
that's
Supposedly, we haven't gotten like a date or anything, but if I had to guess, it's probably going to be a holiday 2023 thing. But they've barely released any info for it. But the game itself, oh, it looks so good. It looks so good. Tally, you want to take the next batch?
I kind of already said that I was excited for like a Switch Pro, so I think that covers like the beginning of my pipe dreams that are never going to happen. And I would love to see another entry in the Metro series, which I'm assuming at this point is kind of just a matter of time. The last one was Metro Last Light, I think.
For you want to explain Metro for the uninitiated, because I have no idea what you're talking
Oh,
about.
okay. So this is actually kind of a cool story. So Metro is originally it was like a book that was on like an old school net chat.
Roadside Picnic? Was that what it was called?
No, it was Russian.
Oh, really? I thought it was called, like the translation, though. I thought was
Oh,
like,
maybe, I don't know. Like literally like as the Soviet Union is falling, right? And like the internet is like becoming available in the East. Like this guy is like writing on this chat forum this story like as the perspective of someone who survived like a nuclear holocaust in the metro tunnels of Moscow.
Interesting.
And so he finishes the story, but only like half of it was available in the chat rooms. Like the rest you have to buy the book.
Oh, okay.
And
I
then
thought you were gonna say like
this,
he
like-
died. I was like, oh my
No,
God.
then this like teeny tiny like Eastern European dev studio that had previously worked on Stalker. They're like, oh my God, like, can we buy the rights to your book to make into a video game? And he's like, honestly, yeah, like whatever, like, you know, from one Ukrainian to another. And so like on a shoestring budget, they make this awesome like horror game about living in the tunnels
Oh.
of the Moscow Metro after a war.
When you said like surviving the tunnels, that sentence alone was already scary to me.
It's like
dude, it's
and
they're so
it's
good.
like it's really there's like paranormal stuff, so like there's
Oh,
like the
God.
concern of like obviously like there's other people, so it's like everyone's fighting for food and medicine and everything else, and then like obviously the surface is like irradiated,
Mm-hmm.
but then there's like these like fever dream nightmarish monsters that
Oh,
also
God.
live in the tunnels.
well, and it was initially based off of Stalker, was it not?
Well, the game
Or the world, I should say.
No, the world was based off the book.
Yeah, no, I thought they were both based
Oh,
off the same
maybe
book, though,
I don't
weren't
know. I don't know.
they? Oh, I could be wrong on that. I thought that there was like the connection there,
Maybe.
but
But yeah, so the first two were kind of like it's like stealth shooter gameplay with like a little bit of a horror element, and then the last game that came out, which I think is Last Light.
yeah, that's one on the train, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like open world, but like in a contained open world. So rather than
Okay.
just being like one massive map where like there's really nothing interesting, it's like 3 or 4 like really intricately well designed maps.
Oh, good. Kind of like what Legends Arceus did, but minus the well-designed part. Well, I'd say the first 3 maps are well-designed, and then the last 2 are just...
At this
Yeah.
point, the game is more popular than the book, so the devs keep like egging the author like, "Oh, dude, you should unkill the characters and make another book, right? Because like the end of every game, everyone dies, and that's like the end of the world. And then the beginning of the next game is like, oops, actually that didn't happen.
Here's the thing, like their writing team is good though.
They are, but
You know
like,
what I mean?
He still owns the rights to it, right?
Oh yeah, that's a
So,
good point.
you know.
All right.
Yeah, you know. Oh, it sounds like a cool concept.
it's-
Not that
it's
I
fun.
would ever have the stones to play it, but
It's not that spooky. It's like it's scary in the sense where it's like they're like gargoyles and stuff like that. It's just like because of the context, it seems so much scarier. But like really, it's just like zombies and
Yeah.
gargoyles.
They just do like the actual
Ghost
survival
people.
part of the gameplay very well.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's one of those things where it's like show don't tell. So
Yeah.
it's like they talk about these horrible scary things, but you never actually see them.
ooh,
And
that
then-
makes it even worse to me. Like that's in terms of scariness, I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to see Valve make another game. That'd be kind of cool.
dude, Valve
Or like
making a game in
re-release like
20
some of their classics on Source 2 since it looks so good.
I miss when Valve made games. I remember when Portal
know.
2 came out and it was super
Portal's
exciting.
so good.
Was that-
Left 4 Dead so good.
I mean, they did the Alex VR thing, but like, when was the last time they made a game that wasn't?
Prior to that, I think it was Portal 2, wasn't it?
I think they had that card game.
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
like
that-
bombed.
That doesn't count. That's
I mean, you know,
no,
I'd
you're
say
right.
it doesn't,
though.
but
You're right.
yeah.
The problem is that CS:GO makes too much money, and so does what's the other freaking game?
definitely not TF2.
No, their MOBA game,
Dota.
Dota. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, TF2 heavy update when?
They just got an update, didn't they?
They get like cosmetic updates every now and then, but they did a pattern of big updates for each character.
Yeah.
And I believe, I mean, I haven't played TF2 in forever, and I haven't really been in the loop, but I believe Heavy was up next,
Oh.
and it's just been like what 5 or 6 years
I
since it was
think the
supposed to come
problem
out.
is like Valve's the way the Valve
I don't know.
works is that there's no hierarchy in the whole building, right? So it's like you can just come to work one day and be like, that project I used to work on, I'm just not going to do that anymore. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
So,
you're
like,
at the
there's-
mercy of Gaben.
Yeah. And like the developers themselves, because like if they just get bored, then like whatever they're working on is just fucked.
Yeah, I appreciate that kind of like you're not stuck in like it's a good environment for creativity, but not productivity.
Right.
You know, like I think it's nice to give artists and you know, I mean, I would call game devs artists. Give them the space to be able to experiment and stuff. But the moment you let them drop a project whenever they want and essentially waste money,
That's why it's crazy, right? Like you see these little leaks of things. Like there was a leak like a couple years ago of what Left 4 Dead 3 would look like based on
Yeah.
like Source 2 and everything else, and it's like, wow, it's so cool. And
and
then
the
like,
and the
nothing.
script of Half-Life 3 too. I mean,
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
I know, which is sad because like that's just we're probably not going to get it now because
Right.
they leaked the script.
Right.
That's a oh sure, it's nice that we saw it, but now that it's out there, they're not going to make it.
It's one of those things where like once enough Adderall makes it in that building and they actually release something, like it's always just like incredible, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone's looking at Half-Life Alyx as like the game that is selling VR.
Yeah.
So like what
I've
happened
heard
if they
it's
made a
good.
normal game?
My brother bought a VR set just to play it, so you know it's working.
Did he like the game?
He liked it a lot. Yeah, I was watching him play it, but it's pretty neat.
Yeah. So Charlie, tell us about you.
All right, so I'm gonna be freeballing this because I did not get editing access on the dock.
I probably should have changed that, shouldn't I?
No, it's fine. So
That
in
wasn't in the
terms
contract.
now, I like I have said a few times already, diet gamer here. Really, what I'm looking for is kind of new experiences, I guess. I've already gotten a lot of things I want. With the Cuphead DLC, phenomenal, cemented it as my favorite game of all time. You know, a beautiful animation. The animation and the aesthetic of Cuphead is what does it for me. Metroid Dread, you know, finally a 2D Metroid after so long. And
I haven't played it yet. I'm very excited.
oh, it's phenomenal. I got to replay some of the older ones. I think the last one I played was Super, so that was in my mind, and it was reminding me a lot of Super. It didn't have like the kind of like Samus was alone, but it didn't feel alone like Super Metroid did. Not that that's a bad thing. It was just a different aesthetic.
Did you ever play Fusion?
I did play Fusion. I think I got it on the 3DS when they had the
Were you
ambassador
an
program.
ambassador? Yeah.
Yeah, the ambassador. I actually have it on for Christmas. My lovely girlfriend bought me a I don't know if it was refurbished or just it's an original Game Boy Advance. It's like the Pikachu one.
Okay.
Oh,
So it's so old that it doesn't have a backlight on the screen.
Oh,
so
wow.
I have to play it next to a lamp because I can't figure out how to light. I don't know how to install a backlight on the screen.
modding your 3DS is actually very easy.
Yeah, too bad this is
It's not that hard.
the 3DS's
Redditor
grandfather.
here.
Well, this is it's a Game Boy, not a 3DS.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I got Pokemon Crystal and Metroid Fusion with that.
Oh, like the actual cart
Yeah, the actual carts. So I'm
damn.
playing it the way God intended.
in the dark.
Yeah, you know, only during daytime because you kids got to get to bed. I actually haven't touched Fusion yet on it because I'm working my way through Crystal, which is It's Crystal's fun. It's grindy, but it's fun. So yeah, I've gotten a lot of games that I wanted, and I've been playing new games that I enjoyed. Trying to think, I've been playing Eastward, which is fun. Sea of Thieves has been a great time.
Oh my god, that's a dream. I want Sea of Thieves, but without PvP.
Yeah,
I'm putting that on my never gonna happen list.
Well, dude, just the Tall Tales. We gotta finally finish the. I bought Sea of Thieves for the Pirates of the Caribbean content because I'm a big theme park guy.
Yeah.
Not like a Disney adult aspect. Like I don't go. I just enjoy.
You're not a Disney adult. You're just an adult that goes to
Yeah,
Disney.
I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a wine taster.
Towing the line,
Yeah,
boys.
I'm in it for the artistry. I don't go to Disney because I can't afford it. I just watch YouTube videos and get irrationally mad about things. But yeah, so we gotta beat the Tall Tales.
Yeah.
It's been several months since we said we were gonna beat it, and we just we're like, oh, let's do the just like the actual game, get some gold and stuff, and then we'll get a massive haul, and some shit bucket will kill us right when we are about to get to port.
The last time Jared and I played, we didn't even have a massive haul. We left the port.
That was tough. Yeah, bad times. Bad times, man.
The last time the three of us played, I'll make this tell a long story short. We had gotten probably the biggest haul I have ever gotten in this game. Maybe all of us.
Probably like 2.5 hours of grinding.
Yeah, 2.5 hour. We did multiple like the bounties with the skeleton captains. We even looted one of those like Spanish fortresses. A lot of stuff. Partway through it, we had ran into a guy who swam up to our boat, and he's like, "Oh, watch out! There's a toxic player
There's
who
a toxic shit bucket on another boat."
Yeah, he destroyed my boat, which already we should have noticed a red flag. Like he would not be swimming in the ocean if his boat had sunken. He would have respawned somewhere. But we were like, "Oh yeah, well thanks for the warning." And I think Tyler was gonna shoot him. You should have shot him, I guess.
I should have finished when I started.
Hours later, literal multiple hours later, we're sailing back after our haul, which I think we flew too close to the sun because we're like, let's head up this fort so we can get the multiplier. And then we can see the port in the distance where we're gonna drop our stuff, and all of a sudden we get hit by a cannonball. We're like, what the hell? And this boat comes, and lo and behold, it's the same fucker, same username and everything. And while we were trying to fight him off, his buddy lined the inside of our he put a bunch of explosives on our ship and blew it up. And the worst part is they didn't get a single piece of loot. Maybe they got one thing, but most of it sunk. They didn't get anything, so they got nothing out of it. They ruined like 4 hours of gameplay. Goddamn, love it. I would do it again.
A skill issue. Yeah,
Simply a skill
dude.
issue.
I loved it. That's part of Sea of Thieves, baby. I've sunk people. They've sunk me. It's how it goes. Circle of life.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Pipe Dreams. I guess I want the new Pokemon game to be good. Ayo,
That's a knee slapper right
that's
there.
unrealistic.
And you want to play it on the Switch Pro.
Yeah, I want to play on the Switch Pro. I want to. My pipe dream is more of I want to finally get that new apartment and be able to play cozy on the couch.
Housing crisis turn up.
Yeah, woo! I love being born after the year 1960 and not being able to afford anything.
Is it a housing crisis or is it a boomer crisis?
It's more of like a bit of both. Greedy landlords and just can't find a house because everyone needs a house. Yeah, no, I want Pokemon to be good. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fun just because of the multiplayer, but just because your friends making a game fun doesn't make the game good, I'd say. So I'm hoping it's good.
You just described Counter-Strike.
Oof. I guess just I'd like to see more games that are innovative in either a gameplay stance or like an art stance. Going back to Cuphead, it is a unique game. There is not a game that looks like it, and I don't think there will ever be a game that looks like it because nobody's willing to put in the effort that the devs did to get that authentic style. So they're working on a new project that is not Cuphead. They've said. So I'm interested to see what it is. I'm sure it'll be beautifully animated. I don't know if it'll be that like 30s, Fleischer Disney style.
All we know is that it'll be on Game Pass, available every month for $9.99.
Yeah, no, they got that nice tight deal with Microsoft. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have a lot of things I want out of games right now.
There we go.
You're at peace with the world.
Yeah, I'm at peace with the gamers.
Perfectly
He's reached
balanced
Nirvana,
everything.
Nerdvana.
No, I got my 3D Kirby. I got my 2D Metroid. I guess Mario Odyssey 2 would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Super Mario RPG remake, maybe. Not
be
gonna
cool.
happen, but
That'd
it
be cool.
would be
Never
cool.
gonna happen, but that's neat.
Super Mario RPG 2.
Metroid Prime. That was supposed to come out.
Yeah, you're
yeah.
right. That should.
Sometime
Yeah,
this
that's.
decade.
Prime
I
4.
intentionally left that off, just knowing that it's never. Like,
Oh.
it's
Well, the
same
pipe
thing.
dream.
Same
It's
thing.
never
If
gonna-
we see it by the end of the decade, I'll be happy.
Yeah,
Dude,
my grandkids will play it.
I mean, there's a rumor that they might re-release at least the original Prime, maybe the whole trilogy on Switch.
I'd be hopeful.
Probably in the Mario All Stars style, which would suck
Suck.
ass.
Yeah.
Dude, get it for Samus's anniversary, only available for 1 month, and then back in the vault. I know people compare, like, say Nintendo's the Disney of gaming, just because, like, you know, they're family friendly. You know, but they didn't have to fucking take the vault idea. Even Disney ditched the vault idea.
Yeah.
Now Nintendo's like, oh, get the Fire Emblem NES English dub only on Nintendo eShop for like 1 week, and then it's back in the vault forever. It's like, it's just FOMO. Like, I know people fall for it. I mean, I bought All Stars only
I
because,
bought All Stars.
but only because I had never played any of
Yeah,
those games.
yeah.
Because too young to have a 64. And we were in a GameCube family. We were the PlayStation 2 family. And so when we got a Wii, we got Mario Galaxy. But I was relegated to watching my older brother play and being like the player 2
You were
Luma.
player 2 with the star
Yeah, which-
catcher. Yeah.
The thing that made it fun for me is that I headcanoned that the Luma was Gino from Mario RPG because it was orange. And so, you know, that was how I coped being player 2. So I bought it to, you know, that was my reasoning. But like,
Punished player 2.
but like the concept of locking games into, like, you know, you only buy it now and then it's lost media technically. Like, I just don't like that. Yeah. Long story short, just I want something new, something exciting. That's my pipe dream.
Well, Charlie, if you want something exciting, let me introduce you to a weekly segment that I will be calling Pick of the Week.
Oh, just like the other weekly segment that we forgot to do at the beginning.
No, I think did we forget something?
All I know is that it was something like we did a weekly catch up. I guess we don't really have that.
We kind of did
caught
that.
up.
We shot the ship for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we did
catch up
We
next
talked
week.
about like the gap between this and the last episode
Yes.
and the episodes before that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did
Yeah,
catch up for an
this is the
entire 2
inaugural
years.
episode. You know, yeah,
3
we gotta-
years.
Yeah.
There's nothing to catch
So-
up on.
So the pick of the week will just be pretty much everybody here will pick one thing that they just enjoyed throughout the past week. It could be a book. It could be just like a tasty food you ate. All right. It could be anything you want it to be. All right. So would you like a minute to think about it, or would you?
Yeah,
like to
let's take a minute, but it will actually be like a second to you guys with like a funny graphic in between, maybe. So yeah, we'll be back in a minute.
Fellow YouTuber Emperor Lemon released Art of the Choke. That was a pretty good.
I haven't
little
watched
documentary.
that. So give me the breakdown. on,
Artichoke?
Art of the Choke. So it's like, you know, like choke, like you messed up at like a high, like an important point.
Yeah, no, I was a shit posting.
Oh, a Redditor here.
Yeah, I'm kind of a meme lord.
Amp Lemon really hits all the right spots.
Yeah, he
doesn't
does. He does.
Actually, a meme lord.
You know, I think a part of it is that creator's like the same age as us, so like they just grew up alongside us. So they graduated from
So-
YouTube poops to docuseries because
you're
that's
right.
what we did.
Emperor Lemon, right?
Yeah.
I can't. Whenever I see his name, I can't remember if he's like the like. There's this dude with a similar vibe that was like I watched his stuff and then he turned out to be like a big bigot.
No. I
Yeah,
don't
not
think
Amp
so.
Lemon. No.
Yeah, but when I see
His
his name, I'm like,
propensity
is
for
this the
NASCAR
guy?
aside.
I can't find the other guy, but whenever I see his name, it reminds me of it. So I'll have to give him
It's
a.
because he used to be like an edgelord. Like he did YouTube poops. Like the Uncredibles was him.
Oh, that was
Frying
okay.
Nemo.
Well, no, but that guy's like a legend.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that was him.
He deleted all of the YouTube poops because it was like threatening the like he'd get too many community strikes. So
yeah.
now he just does documentaries and like things that he's like autistically interested in.
Dude, what's the Spinge Bill guy up to now?
I think that was an actual series. Like I think that was like a Comedy Central sort of BS.
Really? I thought Spinge Bill was just another YouTube poop series.
I think we were watching pirated videos on YouTube allegedly
I
in
don't know.
Minecraft.
I know.
In Minecraft.
All right. Well, Charlie, what's something you like this week?
Well, I was just in Arkansas for a week visiting my old college roommate Andreas with some friends, other friends from school, and we went to the Bass Pro Shop Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee.
Did you see God?
I saw God. He was hanging out in the bar on the top of the pyramid. Yeah, so not necessarily like a game, but just the sheer novelty of the I believe it's the 10th or 9th largest pyramid in the world, and is entirely dedicated to being a Bass Pro Shop. Excuse me. For the uninitiated, a Bass Pro Shop is if a redneck was a store, like you just transform a redneck into a
I
store.
thought that was Walmart.
Walmart's
Well-
like the white trash store.
Oh.
That's a good way. That's a good way to sum that
Yeah,
up. That's
Bass
good.
Pro is like guns, duck hunting, fishing, Bible clutching. Well, they don't have religious stuff
Ripping,
there, but-
dipping, fucking, trucking.
Yeah, drinking beer, eating Cheddar Bay biscuits, stuff like that. They sold. I'm not gonna get some of the crazy. I'm not gonna say some of the crazy stuff they sold there because it might be a little divisive in the comments. But they had a lot of taxidermied animals. A lot
I
of
didn't realize that they sold that there.
No, they didn't sell it. I was just more
like
things
on the
over
walls.
there.
I got you.
Yeah, they had just a lion head just on the wall, and I was like, that's kind of sad. They had a gator pit, a live gator pit.
That had me rolling. Like that's the most
Yeah.
Florida shit I've ever heard in my
And
entire
it's
life.
not even in Florida.
Yeah.
I know.
No, Bass Pro Shop Pyramid. That's my pick of the week,
man.
If you're just ever in the neighborhood of Memphis, Tennessee, go. Even if you're not, I'm not an outdoorsy person. I don't own guns. I don't kill animals smaller than me.
You should have like recorded this for the pod. Like this could have been like the visiting every rainforest cafe of the BSQ podcast.
I visit every Bass Pro Shop Pyramid in the country. I did it. I did the one.
Man, that's a great title, man. Oh my god.
I took pics and vids I can slap up here.
that'd be
It's
hilarious.
pretty wild.
Alright.
We, me and my friends, we all got matching Bass Pro Shop trucker hats, which were surprisingly effective for the Arkansas heat. Arkansas is like 80 degrees even as early as 3 in the morning.
So like all your pictures for the rest of the trip had the trucker hats, right?
Not all of them. I was willing to wear them when everyone was wearing them because it went less from like, oh, he's wearing a Bass Pro Shop to, oh, they're funny, they're quirky, they're wacky, they're goofy. They're all wearing Bass Pro Shop hats. We went to the point where we went somewhere and someone was like, "Oh, the Bass Pro Shop squad." When we walked in, it was funny. But Bass Pro Shop Pyramid, 10 out of 10.
Nice, man.
At least the favorite pyramid that you visited so far.
Yeah, it's definitely in my top 1 pyramids that I've visited because I've only ever seen one pyramid. Actually, that's not true. I've seen the Lux in Vegas, which is okay. So. That's my number 2 in my top 2 pyramids.
Bass Pro edges out.
Bass Pro is definitely superior because it's themed.
All right. Well. Now mine doesn't seem nearly as exciting as Charlie's in retrospect.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Better Call Saul finally ended, and I watched the season finale. Actually, I watched the entirety of season 6 last week, and
You're really confident that you're gonna get this out on time. Like that's timely.
it's too timely, actually. It's,
We'll hold you to it, Jared. If this comments, if the release date of this video is anywhere past September 15th, I want you to bully Jared in the comments.
hold on, September 15th. I think I could do that. I can make that work.
Yeah, dude. If you do September
that.
14th, I'll be mildly disappointed but not upset.
Okay, I can see
I'll
that.
be impressed.
Yeah. But no, Better Call Saul has been a great show, many, many years in the making. Same with the rest of, Breaking Bad. Vince Gilligan and everyone else involved just did an incredible job. And like honestly, like they get like I know some people will act like it's a little bit pretentious, but like the theming and just like kind of how artsy some of the like later episodes in the series get. Seriously, like because it's like it's
I've
later
never
in.
seen it. I've only seen the memes.
Oh yeah, well that's why. Yeah, the Breaking Bad Minecraft memes are my new favorite thing. Okay, but honestly, like Better Call Saul delivered on an ending harder than any other like TV show I've watched in a long
I
time.
gotta go watch it.
Yeah,
It's
I
marvelous.
Do I need to watch Breaking Bad first?
I'd recommend you do. I mean, it's not necessary, but so the show the show has basically two different settings, right? So they have the one where you watch Jimmy McGill become Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
He evolves.
He evolves.
Pupa stage.
And then there's also these black and white segments that show him during the events after Breaking Bad.
Oh, dude,
Oh.
Art House.
Yeah, so and those are all black and white with like little bits of color when important plot pieces happen. So like they try to get like a little bit artsier, especially in like it plays more of like a straight up drama with like cartel and like crime
Yeah.
influences.
So, like, all right, being very timely.
Sure.
Do you guys use TikTok?
Yeah, of course.
My exposure to TikTok is watching them on my girlfriend's phone with her, but I do not own one. I don't own one. I don't
own a TikTok.
I
You
don't
don't
use
have
it
TikTok.
myself.
Okay.
I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
I don't want the Chinese government getting my info.
Do you get those
just don't.
TikToks where it's like a TV show or a chunk of a movie at the top of the screen and the bottom of the screen is like some crappy mobile game?
Yes.
That is
All the
how
time.
that is my only exposure to Better Call Saul.
I've
I've seen the courtroom scene where his like brother, who's like allergic to electricity, like
a
over and
incredible
over
scene.
and over and over
is
again.
that-
Like that whole show is gonna be ruined from me seeing these like crappy TikToks.
Is that a thing? People just like bootlegging
Yes.
content on
Yeah.
TikTok?
I've
It's
watched
big.
almost all of Futurama on TikTok from
Jesus
people
Christ.
like bootlegging, and they want you to get that retention. So it's only like a 25-second clip, even though
Yeah.
the TikTok can go for 10 minutes.
Which is why it'll be like Futurama episode 14.
Part-
part
like-
387.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude, imagine them splitting up one of the Futurama movies into 25-second portions.
The thing that I think is really annoying is when like there's like scenes that go hard, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So like they'll take stuff from like Breaking Bad when like Walt like blows up like the
Walter
cartel
White,
hideout, and like they'll throw in some like trap music behind it, and I'm like, shut the fuck up! Like it's so annoying. Like just if you're gonna show me the scene, I'll be like, cool, I like Breaking Bad. I'll watch this 90-second scene that was like awesome.
And then the
That's good.
bottom will be some horrible mobile game about like
Yes.
making swords or cleaning cars or building guns.
My favorite is when it's like the "Am I the asshole" post, or it's like the "Off my chest" post from
And
Reddit.
it's like a Minecraft parkour in the background.
Yeah, it's like Minecraft parkour where it's like
Oh,
I
shit.
waterboarded my 4-year-old son.
Yeah,
And it's
I
just
saw
like,
that.
It's almost like Minecraft parkour. You know?
I saw one of those. There was a dude like reading off like it was an Ask Reddit thread that was like, "What is a big source of childhood trauma for you?" And it's like Minecraft footage in the background. And then he just reads people's trauma, and then he ends
Yes.
his talk. Let me know in the comments if you agree. It's like agree with
Sometimes
what?
it's bots too. It's like it's not even a human being
That's
reading
not
it.
reading it. Well, that makes sense because who the fuck ends reading someone's personal story and then going like comment if you
Don't forget
agree
to
with
like
this.
and subscribe.
Yeah. To me, it's like if you agree, like what is there to agree on? It's not an opinion. It's just somebody's trauma, dude.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
That's TikTok for
great
you.
segue.
That'll be on the Patreon exclusive.
yeah, the TikTok segue. Yeah. Well, guys, thank you both of you for joining me. I initially wanted to get 2 episodes out of this, and I'm not gonna lie to you, we've been doing this for just about 2 hours.
I think this is going to be episode 1, part 1, and part 2.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like we can
big-
get the out of like I'll talk to you guys about it after the podcast. But thank you guys very much for joining me. I've been Jared.
Yeah.
You've been wonderful.
We'll see you in January.
I'll see you guys whenever. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't-
Charlie,
I'm not-
come back anytime, man.
I'm not legally obligated to be on this.
Yeah, he got a hell of a contract. Man.
Like I said, yeah. All right, so now that we're done in our fancy studio, it's time to go get those. We have the massage chairs in the room over
Yeah, yeah.
that the budget allows for.
yeah,
There's no
I got a
elevator though.
cucumber.
We have like 8 flights of stairs we have to go up to get back to above ground.
yeah,
it's-
I gotta
it's-
ask Amanda to give me like the cucumber eyelashes. You know,
It's a good thing the in-studio gym keeps us ripped. We can take those stairs down, no problem. All right, see you guys. Oh, did you stop it? No, you didn't. All right, bye everybody.